And good afternoon. It is good. It is still morning. Never mind. Good morning. It's 11:45. We're at Eastern Time, just west of Charlotte, North Carolina. For you folks watching and listening online, you can watch live on Facebook. Watch the replays on YouTube and Facebook. The podcast, the JOXX podcast, will go live later on this afternoon on all the podcast networks. I don't know how else to explain that.
Yeah.
But I want to welcome everybody to today's show. NCAA championships to talk about. Some more NFL playoff stuff. Juwan wasn't here Monday, so he missed out on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have Luke Kuechly. Panthers announces retirement last night. What that means for him, the defense, the team, and Cam. NBA action. We got true, false, top fives, and more coming up today on today's show. Let's first, since Juwan missed it the other day, I'll let Juwan start, and Hunter here. I'm gonna go check some audio and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Do a quick recap of what Juwan thought about Monday night's championship game, Clemson and LSU.
Well, I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than what it ended up being.
Mm-hmm.
Burrow played great.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't think Clemson's quarterback played bad.
I think he played good.
No, he definitely didn't play good. No, yeah, don't get me wrong on that. He didn't play good. He missed a lot of throws.
Mm-hmm.
I think the better team won, man.
Yeah.
I did pick Clemson. I think the better team won. I think LSU has great receivers with an accurate quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you got that combination, you have the possibility of scoring a lot of points.
Right.
And honestly, man, like I was one of them guys when everybody was hyping him up all year. I didn't see it all. You know what I'm saying? Because every year the college quarterback, whoever's supposed to be the top dog, he gets pumped up a lot.
Yeah.
But he's the man. I mean, when you're that accurate with a deep ball, accurate deep ball, man, that's dangerous.
It was very dangerous.
And I think the LSU defense played bigger than everybody else expected them to. They got a lot of pressure with just the front four. Made Trevor Lawrence rush a lot of throws that I don't think he's had to do in the past.
Right.
And I think that was the game, man. I think Clemson's main strength in that game could have been running the ball, but once the score started changing and LSU took the momentum,
right,
it was really too late after that.
Yeah, to me, I had LSU winning this ball game. The thing is, I thought Clemson would play this game a lot like they did the Ohio State game and keep it close.
Yeah, me
so
too.
I had Clemson covering the 5.5 point spread. I didn't think LSU would come out and win by the margin that they did. Clemson popped LSU in the mouth early. They really had trouble, LSU, getting good field position early because Clemson would just pin them deep.
Yeah, they did a great job of that.
They did a great job, Clemson, early on the special teams. But LSU, they lived up to their name Tiger because they acted like a tiger, kept up in a corner and fought back the whole time. To me, I've been a Joe Burrow fan all year. I'm not going to sit here and say I knew this is what he was going to be.
I don't think anybody did.
Nobody did. He obviously was the transfer from Ohio State. Played a little bit last year, and then this year was like his coming out season. LSU, to me, and Ohio State were the two best teams of the season, and LSU just proved it in the end that they really are the best team in college football. But Joe Burrow really made this team tick.
Yeah,
I just want people to realize there's a lot of conversation right now about Joe Burrow, and I'll get to him in a minute. But this LSU team could go down as the best college football team ever. I want people to remember this now. Now that we have it set up as a college football playoff, most teams are playing one or two extra games in the postseason, so they're going to have a better overall record. This year's LSU team went 15-0. It's hard to go 12-0 during the regular season or 14-0 during a regular season. They went 15-0. They won the bowl game, which was the playoff game, and then they won the college football national title. They beat 4 preseason AP top 4 teams.
I was going to say that too, yeah.
They have 7 top 10 wins, and they won the national championship game 42-25. They hung 42 on the number 1 defense in college football.
Yeah.
So I want people to just not only look at what Joe Burrow is and how, he's probably going to be the number 1 overall pick. This LSU team has just been dominant all year. Now we can go on to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow might have had the best season any college quarterback has ever had.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow in that game was 31 for 49 for a measly 463
just
yards
a little bit.
and 5 touchdowns.
No turnovers.
No turnovers.
Right.
5 touchdowns. He had no turnovers on the season.
Wait, what? Five he threw 4.
Five he threw 4.
And I think he ran one in, too.
He did.
Yeah.
He did run one in. So 6 total.
Yeah.
6 total touchdowns by Joe Burrow.
And you know what? Speaking of that, too, I think that also had a lot to do with it. He ran a lot in the game too and was real effective running
they
too.
Started to draw up some draw plays for him, and he was very effective with it. I had just some notes here. Obviously, I'll just highlight his season: 5,600 yards passing, 60 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. 76.3 completion percentage. He was averaging the pass 10.6 yards per pass. The 60 passing touchdowns, the most in college football history in a season. To me, he's one of, if not the best deep ball passer I've seen coming out of college in a long time. I know he's got great wide receivers. One of them, I think, was the best Bolitnikoff. The best wide receiver in the nation. But you still got to be able to make some throws. You got to be able to throw, and especially against SEC talent, and now against the best defense in college football in Clemson. I don't want to hear anybody come out and say, "Oh, well, he's just a product of his talent." Okay, well then Trevor Lawrence is just a product of his talent. Justin Fields is just a product of his talent. Don't sit here and tell me Tua in Alabama, who might have the best receiving core in college football, doesn't have talent either. So I don't want to hear that. He did this with what he has, and it wasn't against, bad competition. It was he had 7 top 10 wins, and one of them was on the road at Texas.
If you look at it, too, in Monday's game, a lot of times his receivers were covered.
Yeah,
he would just throw them open,
and he got rattled. Well, not mentally, because I saw an interview he did after it. He said he really wasn't in panic mode. He just knew how good the team was, and he wouldn't get panicked.
They got to him a few times,
but they did get to him. Clemson's defense was getting to him early. Linebacker Simmons for Clemson was getting great penetration. Venables had a great game plan drawn up to get to Joe Burrow. And I will say this too: he's a deceptive runner. This goes back to you talking about how he started to run in that game. What I've noticed over the season is he is a deceptive runner he's not a run-first quarterback.
Not at all.
It's run if I have to, not run just to run. You know what I'm saying? That, a lot of people will talk about that with like Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson, and that's what they mean by their dual-threat quarterbacks, is because they really want to run and they want to utilize it, but they can throw too, whereas Joe Burrow is probably one of the better pocket passers I've seen at the college level right now, but he can run. It's one of those things with Russell Wilson. He can sit there in the pocket if he needs to and just throw the ball, but if he gets pressured, he's going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And then I'll say this, there's a lot of talk he's possibly going to go number 1. If you ask me, if I'm the Bengals and I'm truly done with Andy Dalton, then absolutely, I would take him number 1. But if you're the Bengals, people, I don't want you to think he's just going to come in and have great success, because it's always about, well, where are you going?
Yeah.
That usually the teams that have the number 1 through 5 pick are not great. So, but if they can retain A.J. Green, the wide receiver for the Bengals, if they can keep Tyler Boyd, if they can, Joe Mixon, get Tyler Eifert healthy at the tight end position, he's gonna have weapons.
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna have weapons.
I've seen that my Eagles are definitely gonna make a run at AJ Green. Let me ask you this. So let's just because every now and then this happens.
Yeah.
Let's just say Cincinnati just throws a monkey wrench in everything,
Right.
and they take Chase Young first. I'm
Right.
just throwing this out there.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Would y'all take Burrow?
I mean, he's sitting there.
He hadn't thought about that.
I haven't,
thought about that
I
yet.
haven't thought about that. But I'll sit here and tell you this as a Joe Burrow fan, because I've come to this is the thing. You know, everybody says, well, what college player did you like watching the most? I loved watching Johnny when he was there at Texas A&M.
man.
I never thought he would be a great pro, but I liked watching Johnny. I loved watching Todd Gurley when he was running it all over at the University of Georgia. But there hasn't been this guy that I was like, man, I was glued to the TV to watch him, and that was Joe Burrow this year. My favorite quarterback in the league before he retired was Andrew Luck. So now I'm searching, okay?
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow might be that guy. So
Yeah.
you're asking me if he's sitting there at 2, I might have to say, you know what, Dwayne, we didn't really give you an opportunity, but Joe Burrow's sitting right here with possibly the greatest college career of any college football quarterback. So would I take him? Yeah. I think I'd have to take him. If not, offensive lineman, because we don't know if we can hold Trent Williams. Other than that, I don't see Joe Burrow dropping out of top 3 at all. He's definitely going first.
He'll be one.
Here's the thing too, as well, about Joe Burrow. As you've watched him, he got better every game.
Yeah.
He got better every game, and this is my comparison for it. If my buddy's listening, I have told him to this when I was watching him play against Alabama. I was trying to figure out, because everybody wants to say who you're going to compare him to that's playing in the league now. Joel Klatt on FS1 went out there on the limb, I thought, yesterday and said he reminds him of Joe Montana. I said, well, hold on. That's kind of an all-superstar type great to compare him to. I'm going to try and keep it, just comparative to someone who doesn't have a Super Bowl, but he's gotten there close. He reminds me of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan can throw an excellent deep ball.
Yeah.
He only moves if he has to, but he really doesn't want to.
Yeah.
To me, he's a more athletic, not as tall Matt Ryan.
But I'll tell you this, he's got a stronger arm than Matt Ryan.
Yes.
Absolutely. My little bro, he's a big Atlanta fan, and he listens to every show.
Right.
And I tell him all the time that Matt he's got a good arm. He doesn't have a great arm.
Yeah.
But that's a good comparison. That's a very good comparison. But Matt Ryan, he's a statue in the pocket.
Yeah.
You know, Burrow, he'll move around if he had to.
He'll move. He should. I think Joe Burrow will have a good career in the NFL. As of right now, just what I saw last night, even if Trevor Lawrence was to come out this year with him, I think Joe Burrow outdueled him and showed, even against the top defense, that he can not get rattled.
Yeah.
Last night, Monday night. Sorry, I keep saying last night. Monday night rattled Trevor Lawrence with that LSU defense. LSU's defense really stepped up. They're not a top 5, really top 10 defense in college football because their offense has just been so prolific.
Yeah.
But they rattled Trevor Lawrence. And I know Trevor Lawrence is still young. What people don't realize, because he's a graduate senior, Joe Burrow's 23.
Yeah.
So he's kind of older. He's been in that position.
You know what? I
before.
noticed that when I seen him
think,
smoking the cigar, I was like, well, he's got to be 21 now.
It's over that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, man. I think that helps him being 23.
Yeah.
I think it helps him going
absolutely.
into the next level. You know, he's not too young. And I've got a nickname for him, and I want it to stick. I really do. It's Joe Heisman. It's Joe Heisman. I'm not, it's just Joe Heisman.
Pretty good
they call, what was it, New York Joe? They used to call it
Broadway.
Broadway
Joe.
They called him
Yeah.
Broadway
Yeah.
Joe, and then of course there's Joe Theismann.
Yeah.
But Joe Burrow just won the Heisman, so I mean he's Joe Heisman, man. He's Joe Heisman.
Pretty good name.
I thought so. I like to think I have good ideas.
Yeah.
I like to think I have good ideas.
I have good ideas.
Yeah. So I was pulling for the Tigers in that game.
Was you?
The team with purple.
Okay.
Purple Tigers.
Yeah. Well, both of them's purple.
LSU starting a petition online that the Tigers should have to change their name to Cubs.
Oh, my God.
How you feel about that one?
I think it's stupid.
The Clemson Cubs.
I think they should have. I think they should have played for the
Oh,
rights
kittens.
to Death Valley, though.
They both
I agree.
Yeah, that'd have been
agree.
sweet. That'd have been
Both
sweet,
of
man.
them stadiums are called Death Valley.
Yeah.
It's like,
Why
well,
are they
this
both
is the real
called Death Valley? The Tigers
know.
live in valleys.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is that-
I think
never
they think it
actually met a
sounds
tiger.
menacing.
Well,
I think they.
I thought they lived in
they're
the
like,
jungle.
oh, it's intimidating.
That's
But
just-
neither one of them
that's what I'm
plays
saying.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Does
though.
anyone
No.
else? No one else though. It calls it the.
Calls it
Death
Death
Valley,
Valley?
do they?
There might
That's
be
what I want.
another Death Valley.
Shouldn't Death Valley be in like Arizona?
Yeah, that's literally where Death Valley is. You would think.
What exactly is Death Valley actually a place or
Death Valley?
something is?
I'm pretty sure it's Arizona.
let's-
It's like the desert of Arizona.
We can make ourselves look like idiots here for
Yeah.
a minute, or we can. Death Valley National Park,
Ah,
Oh, it's in California.
Eastern California,
is a desert
in the
valley.
Mojave Desert,
Eastern California, so probably closer to Arizona.
Yeah,
in the Great
Yeah.
Basin Desert. It's one of the hottest places in the world.
in
near,
the world.
near Vegas. So there you go.
Now, whoa.
Oh,
They call
world,
it
Craig.
Death Valley. Both these places, that's their nickname.
Yeah,
It's Tiger Stadium in LSU and Memorial Stadium at Clemson, but they both
Right.
are nicknamed Death Valley.
Mhm.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Somebody needs to be the one and only
Yeah.
Death Valley.
Yep.
And if as of right now, and history shows, it should really be LSU.
well,
they've-
whoever's closest to the Death Valley in California.
Yeah,
which would be LSU. Yeah,
that's right.
No, I'm just talking about a California school.
The California
Should
should
be-
okay, yeah.
should be Death Valley. Well, I'll tell you, it won't be USC because
Now,
that's the
let's
Rose
talk.
Bowl.
Let's talk real national championship.
Real.
Yeah,
What's the difference?
North
between-
Dakota State
Yeah, they won what? Like they're 16.
beat James
Yeah.
Madison 28-20.
that's where my boy came from.
I was about
right?
to say, Juwan better not poo-poo
Yeah,
this.
Nah. I watched.
North
those- yeah, I watched
Dakota
those guys.
State is where from Wentz came from.
Yep.
Beat James Madison. This used to be the division Appalachian played in, and these teams are very familiar names. North Dakota State goes 16-0, wins 28-20, with only 72 yards passing. North Dakota State won the ball game.
very Tannehill like.
Very
Yeah.
Tannehill. Like. We sure Tannehill played at
You-
A&M. He
yeah.
didn't play out at North
I
Dakota
know,
State.
right?
281 rushing yards from North Dakota for the win. 45 attempts, 281. James Madison had 45 attempts for 161. James Madison had 204 yards passing on 22 of 23 completions, but they threw a pick,
22, 23 completions.
22 of 33,
Oh, okay.
and a pick.
Still ain't bad.
No,
Throwing the ball.
no. So they had one turnover, and they lost by 8. That usually kind of there
There's
it
your
is.
game, yeah.
The North Dakota State quarterback was 6 of 10, 72 yards, Hunter.
Mm.
And I'm not mentioning names, but we talk about quarterbacks all the time on this show. And can this guy win a playoff game, or can Brady still do it? Tannehill won with 78 yards. This guy just won it with 72 yards, the national championship.
Yeah.
The only team that beat App this year, Georgia Southern, their quarterback was 1 for 4 for 4 yards. Is all this not proven that running the ball, playing defense, and not turning it over is always the key to winning football games?
I believe so. I think that's
Most of the time.
I think
yes.
I think it's a good recipe to follow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good recipe to follow.
Unless you playing the Chiefs.
Well, if your defense is going to give up 50, you got to have a different strategy.
You can't run the ball.
But
no more.
your offense that's not your offense's fault. That's your defense want to tackle somebody. Here's real quick. I did have a Jawan. See if we can name them.
Okay.
The top 3 college football teams over the last 20 games. There's 3 teams that are 19-1 in FBS. That means the big boys.
The last 20 games.
Last 20 games. What 3 schools are all 19-1?
Oh,
One of those got to be Clemson, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Appalachian State.
Oh my, gotta be. Gotta
That's
be.
the only
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he would bring it up.
They were
Yeah.
undefeated last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one more?
Yeah.
Probably what, Alabama?
Oh, no, you just said them. Oh, it's not them?
Was it Alabama? LSU? I'm trying to think.
Because
What was the
Alabama lost
record
twice
again?
this year, didn't
LSU lost twice.
What was the record again?
19-1.
Was it Ohio State?
Mm-hmm.
I had to think.
Ohio
I had to
State,
think about that one.
Clemson, and Appalachian State are the only 3 schools in the country in the last 20 games to go 19-1. That's my stat of the day, Juwan. You like that stat of the day?
Sure.
See, you love my stat.
All them teams, they're pretty good teams. I like them.
Hey, I got one for you. Antonio Brown threatened a baby mama on Instagram Live.
He did.
He's been accused of rape.
Yeah.
Aaron Hernandez murdered multiple people. The common denominator between the two, Tom Brady. He must be an awful person.
You cannot relate that.
Speaking of
That was the tweet of the day, Joel.
Speaking of Aaron Hernandez, did you see the Netflix has dropped the docuseries that they did on him?
Hey,
I haven't. Nah,
It came
Antonio
out, I think,
Brown-
today or yesterday.
Really?
It came out.
Yeah, it's coming
I'm
out.
interested in that.
I am too.
Antonio Brown didn't threaten the baby mama or be accused of rape until he signed with the Patriots.
Whoa, did you see?
Right?
Did you see Antonio Brown's recent fiasco that he was basically Instagram living?
That's
him?
what I was talking about,
He
yeah.
called in the police on his baby mama, claiming that she was stealing his car. Held up a bag of gummies in the shape of penises
And threw it at her
and said,
in front of her kids.
in front of her his
Their
kids,
kids.
their
Their
kids, and said, "Have a bag of dicks."
You said it out loud?
Yeah.
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 Oh, when he
On
was
Instagram.
yelling,
He
and he was
posted
yelling
it.
at the police.
He
I
posted
seen
it.
I seen the video.
He
I didn't
posted
click on it because
You
I
didn't
was
watch
like,
it?
I don't watch anything that's got anything to do with him no more, man.
I know.
God.
He called the police every name in the book.
He did. Oh, dude. it was-
Like, he was just running his mouth crazy to the police.
Oh,
was-
and he's recording the whole thing.
No, oh, that
He's
was
recording
ignorance at its finest.
with his kids standing there and his baby mama with about 15 police officers, and he called every one of the police officers. Let's see. He called them all by racist names, whether you're black or white. He called them all the B word. He called them every name they could.
You want to see? But you want to know what's crazy? He called them.
He
called them
He's
to
the one
be
that called the
there.
police.
He's
And
the one
he's the
that
one
called the
recording on
police.
Instagram.
Man, this dude is on drugs, man.
That's what I keep saying, but nobody wants to say it.
He's on
You don't
drugs.
act like- you don't
Whoa,
act
whoa, whoa,
like that,
do you
do
think
you?
he's on drugs, or do you think he's had one too many hits to the head and it's starting to really mess?
I think it's both.
It's not the weed.
No,
it ain't
You don't
weed.
act like that.
no.
If anything, weed's chilling you out, man.
Yeah,
you
man,
need to hit the
like-
weed.
Sometime
Somebody need to take him
amphetamine.
some weed. Yeah.
Sometimes
Can I say that?
What?
You said somebody.
Take him-
Oh,
somebody
okay.
needs to take him some.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, take him
Alright.
some weed.
Yeah.
We are a pro CBD podcast.
CBD, baby.
CBD podcast.
This podcast is brought to you from Colorado.
That should be our tagline there, Hunter. We're a pro CBD
Pro
podcast.
CBD podcast.
Cinephania, I don't know if you're friends with him on Facebook,
Yeah.
but the other day he finally went and bought. He's got a dog that just yaps.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time. So he went and bought some CBD, dog CBD.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you his post here for Hunter. If folks listen, of course you can't see it. This is one of our announcers, and I went over to watch the game. That's the dog
Yeah.
that never shuts up, right?
Yeah. Right.
Let me just scroll down to his post where after he gave them to him.
My man bought his dog
Out. There it is. Out. So he bought some pure hemp dog chews, and his comment was, "My dogs are officially stoners."
Officially.
So the next
stoners.
post is his dog passed out on the floor. She was yappy. I got her stoned. Hemp treatment seemed to work.
Hey, man.
2 posts later, same dog passed out. Works every time.
Hey.
Man,
Medicine is medicine.
They
Yeah.
put the dog to sleep.
medicine is medicine.
Medicine is medicine,
Man,
baby.
hey,
goodness.
the weed be letting you know.
It be letting you
What
know,
is- so
homie.
Evil's afoot. All right.
So what's that? Well, now Antonio was, he was pictured with what looked like was cocaine in that hotel in Paris. Is that?
I thought it was
is that
OBJ.
No,
that was OBJ. All right,
That was
got it
OBJ.
wrong. Sorry,
OBJ.
sorry,
Right.
sorry.
Speaking
Whoa,
of that-
whoa, whoa.
Speaking of that,
Speaking of OBJ and
Speaking
the
of that,
national
The
championship,
question I want to get to him for a second. The question I was going to get real quick on Brown. What do you kind of think he's acting like that way on, or I hate to, I don't want to speculate like that, but what I'm saying is like, why would someone act that way unless they're just totally nuts and crazy? I mean, we know people that act like that,
Yeah.
seriously.
but honestly, everybody that acts like that, we probably know they're on something too.
Yeah.
well,
Behind
I'll
the
say this
scenes.
too. I don't think it's helping that he's not playing. Actually, like
Yeah,
him,
have a lot of time off.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
a lot
Ton
of
of
time
time
off, a
off.
lot of time to himself. And I don't mean that for the NFL. The NFL's still doing great without him. I mean for him to not be playing because he doesn't have that wake up, go to work, get my
Yeah.
mind right, just go in and get what I got to do, go home and
Yep.
just relax. All
Yep.
right, and then go back and go to work and do the same thing. He's got a lot of time off. He's got a lot
Yep.
of money. He can do whatever he wants with his money.
Yep.
Here's the thing that he loves too. Antonio Brown loves the people, and he loves the attention. And if he's not getting it on Sunday, he's trying to get it everywhere.
Is getting
else.
attention more important than winning football games to him?
Yeah.
Is that an obvious question?
That's blatant.
That's exactly what it
basically
is.
what he's doing right now. Why else would you do that on Instagram Live to your baby mama, your kids, and the police officers that you called?
Yeah. And
Right.
you know what? Now this makes this all of this stuff
He's
Antonio Brown
addicted
does
to being a celebrity.
Yeah, it makes T.O. look like a good guy. Like T.O. loved attention just as much as he did. He never got in any trouble.
Did you see what T.O.'s problem is today? Have you seen that?
I haven't.
So they came out with the NFL's top 100 players, and he's not on it.
Of all time, yeah.
Yeah. They have 10 wide receivers on the list, and he's not on it. He said, I'm top 3, Jerry, Randy, and me, however way y'all
You
want to
agree
put
with
it.
that?
Maybe.
I would have to look at the rest of them, but
man,
I'll tell you what, my biggest
the
knock.
only one I would put in there possibly over T.O., and I know how T.O. was great. I cannot leave Calvin Johnson off the list.
a lot of people forget about Calvin, man.
Because he was quiet and he
Yep.
retired
Right.
after,
And he played in Detroit.
and he played in Detroit, and he had such a short career. Really, what was it? He retired at 30, the same age Barry Sanders did. It was like basically him and
Let me ask you
Barry,
one.
both Detroit guys, kind of mirrored each other.
I'm sitting there thinking about all these wide receivers, and I feel like I could put a hole in all of them's game a little bit, and let's see if you can follow along with me. Randy quit a couple of times, admitted he quitted. And his hands weren't that good. T.O.'s hands were actually worse. T.O. dropped a lot of passes.
he did.
If you'll think about
Randy was just
Randy
vertically
caught his passes.
unstoppable.
Yeah.
Randy caught his passes with his chest, though.
He did.
He didn't catch it up here on the jump balls. Like you see, the Beckhams, the one-handers and stuff. Randy didn't really do that.
Chris Carter
He
had
would
better
jump
hands.
higher than ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
By a
Chris,
long
I was about
shot.
to say Chris Carter. When I think hands, I think him better than anyone. If I'm gonna throw a pass in a direction, that guy's gonna catch it.
I think him and Larry Fitzgerald, young Larry Fitzgerald.
I agree with Larry.
Yeah,
Torrey Holt has some good hands.
he did.
Right now, Hopkins got great hands.
Oh yeah, yeah,
If you talk about just right now, Hopkins, I know he's got a long career left.
yeah.
Well, so what Randy was going by best at was that you couldn't catch him. I mean, he was faster, longer, stronger, and taller.
Yeah.
T.O. was faster, stronger than he was bigger than the DBs, so they couldn't bring him down.
It's bigger than some linebacker.
But
Yeah,
But
he
my-
was real.
Man, he was big.
I don't know how many passes I saw him drop over the years, which is fine. People drop passes, but he made up for it.
He did.
When he'd catch a slant and turn it into 25 yards instead of catching the 25-yard comebacker and then get tackled. So you got to kind of weigh which way you wanted that with T.O. So that's why I was kind of, and then Skip down the hall was talking about Michael Irvin. And he broke down Michael Irvin's 6 years of his prime. He only played like 8 or 9 because he got hurt. But his 6 years head-to-head against Jerry Rice, and he put Rice's numbers and Irvin's numbers during those 6 years, and he beat him across the board. That's with the all-time leading rusher on your team, and Jerry plays in the West Coast offense. If you put someone else, if you put Irvin or someone else in the West Coast offense running slants, that's how T.O. got his numbers running the West Coast. So Skip was just making a point that Jerry's numbers are a little inflated because they threw the ball every down, as opposed to Irvin or some of these other guys like the Chris Carter,
Don't
someone
tell
else that
Jerry
we
that.
don't really.
No.
Jerry will fight you.
And see, that's the thing. When Jerry played, like his hands, he's kind of like T.O. almost, like to where it's all slants and all post and all goes. There's no.
Definitely a lot of post and slants.
He wasn't like running a lot of routes, like.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
got to think.
But that's
at
their
that-
offense.
at
That was their offense.
That's their offense. And at that time, really, how complex were route trees then, compared to what these offensive
What they got
coordinators
now,
are
yeah.
thinking of now? So, and it's not a shot at it. I mean, they would still have great success today. I mean, if you can run and catch a ball, I think you can have success today.
Yeah.
I mean, but the route trees today are just so complex.
I think T.O.'s got an argument on
He's
that
He's
one.
definitely got an
Can't
argument.
say he's not
Argument
one.
on
Yeah.
10. Yeah, I don't know about argument on top 3.
That's his argument. He
He's
definitely.
definitely got an
his
argument
argument.
for top 5.
Yeah.
Could
Maybe.
be. It just depends who
Maybe.
you want in
We
there.
would,
Do you
we,
want
we'd
Chris
have
Carter?
to
Do
take,
you
a,
want
we'd
Larry
have to take a
Fitzgerald?
whole section and just break down wide receivers
Yeah.
that we could think of off the top
Hey,
of our head.
this is what this show does. Mount Rushmore of wide receivers.
We can do that in a little while.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll do it
I
Friday.
think that's
Let's do it
definitely.
Friday.
We'll do
I
that
like
Friday.
those because I think all of us would probably have somebody different.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, we can do that Friday. That'll be a little fun Friday.
But most people are going to put the 2, Rice and Moss.
Most people, yeah.
And then everyone's going to argue about the next 4.
I mean, I think most Cowboy fans would want Irvin in there. I mean, I like Michael Irvin, man. And that's what sucks sometimes, man. When I was growing up, it was Cowboy players that I really, really liked, and I could never root for them. Like, man, I really like Zeke, man. I really like Zeke, and I can never show it. I'm not even really supposed to be saying it out loud right now.
You're not wearing anything Eagles.
Yes,
You're fine.
Yeah,
You're fine.
I really
You are
like
a
Zeke.
civilian right now.
Civilian, man.
You don't know sports right now.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine.
Irvin was, I think, one of Skip's points, and it's one of mine that I wish they kept up with more back in the day. And what was killer, here's what was killer about them Cowboys teams that nobody ever talks about. I like to bring up.
Of course you do.
They were the kings of first down. So, for example, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 5. Whatever it was, they could either hand it to Emmett, throw it to Michael. And that's what was so good about Emmett, and I try to explain to everybody. No matter what yards you told him he needed, he got 2 more. So, when you go down, and that's one of the stats he was pointing at, Michael Irvin had way more first down catches than Jerry Rice. But Jerry Rice had more long touchdowns between the two. Irvin, if you remember, John, of course you do, the king of the comebacker.
Yeah.
If it's 3rd and 15, Irvin's running 16 yards, stopping on a dime, you can't stop it.
Running
They would
dead
tell
at
you
your
where they're
full
going.
speed.
Aitman said they only run 5 plays in the Super Bowl. The lead draw to Emmett, the pitch to Emmett, and then the comebackers and a deep post. And that was about it.
The lead draw works because you don't know if he's about to throw it back to Michael Irvin or not.
Right. So it's kind of it's a play off that play action, that North Turner off that. But the Michael and Emmett were just kings at getting those first downs. And that's kind of the thing I always want to point out on when they're talking about Jason Witten is look at his first down catches. Because he kind of used to do the same thing. He'd run up 3rd and 6, he'd run the Y route. And if you don't know what the Y route is, it's an option route. And Dallas is the king of option routes when Romo was there. Every freaking route out there was an option route. So Witten would run at the defender as soon as he turns his hips. Whichever way his butt cheeks are pointing, that's the way Witten cuts. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if the guy looks left, you go the opposite way of his butt cheeks. You just watch his hips. When his hips turns, that's all Jason Witten was doing. Everybody's like, how's he get open? That's all he's doing.
I hate it. He was
run straight at somebody,
open,
and as soon as they turn their hips, all I got to do is break. And if the quarterback's looking for it, you can be open more times than not. Our tight end at best, from our 6'9" guy, it didn't matter what route we told him. He just ran straight down the field. He was awful. Hunter, that banana man right there,
right,
has a 95% better chance of catching a ball than our tight end did. It was like throwing to a tripod with no arms, and he was running the wrong route.
Right.
But he was bigger than everybody on the field, so he got to play in time.
Yeah.
He's 6'8", 205.
I mean, the big body's got a lot to do with a lot. Oh, I just seen Antonio Gates just retired, even though he didn't play this year.
He retired.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, man,
Antonio Gates had a great career.
He did.
He did have a great career.
It's a lot of teams that could have used him this year.
I saw that he's 7th on the touchdown. He's got most touchdowns all
for
time for a tight end, but he's 7th on the touchdowns list. It was a good hookup for Phillip Rivers. I think we got something we really need to go ahead and hit on, though. We talked about the national championship. It's time that we give the Charlotte and Carolina Panther listeners their unfortunate news.
Let's get
if
to
they
them.
haven't heard it
Let's
already.
get to them in a second. I do want to touch on the Odell Beckham.
Go ahead.
You want to do that?
Oh, yeah. All right, we'll go. All right, rewind back to the national championship. We were talking about wide receivers.
Yeah.
Speaking of a crazy wide receiver from LSU, Odell Beckham was plastered everywhere at the end of the national championship game. Obviously, his alma mater where he played. I don't even know if he graduated, but where he played at, LSU won the national championship. So, of course, he's going to be there celebrating with, his boys, quote unquote, his people. What's the fun fact?
Yeah.
There was a video. I don't know if you guys saw the video from the gentleman. I can't remember which wide receiver it was in the locker room, but Odell was with him, and then he turned the camera, and Zeke Elliott was there too. For some reason, Zeke was there with him too. He was in the locker room hanging out. So
if there's beer, Zeke's there.
Yeah.
What was he doing there?
Exactly. It's like, well, what is
Because they had
Zeke doing
free
there?
beer.
He's probably hanging out with Odell. That's probably what it is. Odell was like, man, you want to go to this ball game? He's like, sure.
I don't think that's a good idea.
But
don't think
that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, whatever.
We're not talking about the fact that Zeke was there. We're gonna talk about the fact that there is video of Odell Beckham on the field after LSU was finally putting on all their national championship gear, handing out what appears to be, LSU came out and said it was fake money, but it looks to be real wads of cash into these boys' hands. And I'm not talking maybe a measly $20. I'm not talking maybe just a $100 bill. It looks like he might be handing each one of them $500 to $1,000. Report says that it was fake, and the only ones that looked like they were getting dapped up with money in their hands are guys that are leaving to go pro.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be coming back and getting
in trouble for
student athletes.
Right.
LSU has come out and covered themselves, saying it was, it was fake money. But I don't know if Odell's just walking around with money with his face printed on him, handing it out to college athletes. Joe Burrow, I was listening to a podcast, and this is what he said. He said, Odell gave me money, but I'm not a student athlete anymore, so it don't matter. That's what he said. He said after the game. After the game.
What the hell is he doing, man?
Now, that's a big question. Odell, what
are you doing,
are you
bro?
trying to get this national championship taken away just as fast as they got it? Or are you serious right now?
Like, y'all just won it, man. You could hit them. You could hit the players off.
You could hit them off. You could hit them off later that night on Bourbon
For
Street.
real.
Not on the field where every media outlet in the world is looking at what you're doing with these players. Odell, man, come on, man.
All right, so I got a
Odell.
couple of comments, and the money thing is the least thing I'm concerned with.
But did you also
of all that happened with Odell?
Oh, I know it was the
him
same,
passing out the money is the least.
It was
I'm
the
concerned
same. It was
with.
the same video where he showed Zeke was in it. I don't know. So you must not have seen the video.
I haven't seen any of the videos.
He had given one of the wide receivers there a pair of cleats with OBJ on the side of it, and he held up the cleats. Said, "I could probably sell this for $200,000." I was like, "Oh my god!"
So,
Can they wear the cleats that Odell gave them? Is that cool?
I mean, I guess they didn't pay for it. Michael Jordan gives everybody shoes, it seems like, at Carolina.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's their sponsor, though.
Chaz was suspended games for selling
For
seats
selling
to a
his-
teammate.
yeah, but
It was to a
It was
teammate.
to a teammate?
Yes.
I didn't know it was.
It was
to a
like me
teammate.
and you on the same team. Hey, dude, I don't like these shoes. You want them? Sure. Give me $200.
yeah, but
Okay.
here's the thing.
And he got suspended for it. And he's playing linebacker
OBJ
now.
is a Nike representative, and LSU is Nike. So I can feel like he just calls in a favor and is like, hey, send them a pair of these cleats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, all right, let me tell you my problems.
Go ahead.
In the past, I'm just talking 10 years. There's 85 scholarships a player. Yeah, 85 scholarship players a year on a team.
Yeah.
10 years, roughly, let's say 800 players.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the past 10 years, right?
Right.
Was the other, besides La'el Collins and Odell Beckham and Ryan Clark, did the other 797 former LSU Tigers get to come in the locker room and dance and play with the kids too?
No,
So why do those guys get to?
they're on TV.
Like, think about it, Juwan.
Stars.
Think about it,
Yeah.
Juwan. If you were on the LSU team with Odell and you was a running back, you got 500 yards, you're carrying it, and this diva's out here looking at dudes bend over and getting all the attention, and then he's on TV during the national championship, and he didn't win it. You didn't win it, but you got more carries. You did more work. I'm feeling for those guys. Like, do those guys, is only the stars allowed to come back to LSU to see Ed Orgeron, or can anybody come back? Because
Ed
there's
Orgeron
85.
wasn't even his coach.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
was Les
Not at all.
Miles.
There's
Yep.
85 team players a year. Like, I'm thinking, so if 44 of them play, 22 play, that means 50 to 60 guys that don't play every year.
Yeah.
But they feel like they're LSU football players.
They
Are
are.
they not allowed to come on the field and celebrate
They-
like the rest of the guys? What's the line? That's just me being curious. I'm not asking you guys to answer. I'm just saying that just seems weird to me. Like, most coaches would be like, yeah, anybody can come. But it seems to me like this coach is like, let's just bring the stars in here and party.
I think they bring the stars out there for recruiting purposes.
But
So,
you could
I
also
don't like- that's what I didn't like
You
about
could also spin zone this and say, well, maybe they were there, but the only ones that the media are going to show attention to are the big names.
yeah, maybe they were there and we didn't know
like
who it
maybe
was.
they were
Or
there.
the backup lineman was there passing out $1 bills
Yeah.
off TV.
Plus,
what I'm
and then you
saying.
got to think the guys that they do show on TV. I mean, we don't know, but just me guessing, I would guess they are probably hella sponsors donators back to the school.
What I'm getting is that those guys were in the locker rooms.
In the locker room.
That means
dog.
700 people were not in the locker room. Is what
Well,
I'm
yeah,
getting
you,
at.
you think
They didn't let
LeBron
everybody.
ends up in everybody's locker room. He didn't even play in college.
He was fine. He'll end up in Dallas's locker room.
Yeah.
He don't even play football.
All right, so my other problem with it was on Odell's part, if the money's fake, he'll get more in trouble for passing out counterfeit money than breaking an NCAA violation.
Right.
So if they want to put it on that, so LSU is saying, no, we didn't break any rules, Odell committed a felony. That's what LSU's position is. Because if he's passing out fake money, you're not supposed to be having fake money unless it says monopoly on it. Like that like if it looks like money at all, in the same brand of, they
Looks
call it
like
counterfeit,
money,
and you can
smells like money, tastes like
and
money.
you can be charged. So I don't know if it was real. I don't know what was real and what was not. But what I'm saying is that if that's LSU's position, that's a terrible position to have, really. And now we get to the money part. I don't care one bit. They deserve it. I don't care one bit. That's my position. It'll always be my position.
I don't care. But the only reason I would care is if the NCAA cracked down on this.
Yeah.
Right. If they made a rule,
we're gonna have to take away this championship.
Right.
I would be like,
that would be
there's
messed
no
up
way.
for some
Hunter,
people
man,
that I had. They didn't even get no money.
I got a new
exactly
rule.
right.
I got a
That's
new
exactly
rule. I got a new rule.
Because here's the question: do you think the offensive lineman maybe got paid too?
The offensive lineman always gets underappreciated.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, new rule. You ready for this one? All right. This is college football only. Instead of the turnover chain and the touchdown chain or
Turnover
whatever
money.
you want to, whatever you want to do it, we're going to do money,
Yeah.
but it's going to be one of those machines that the money flies everywhere.
Oh, yeah. You gotta go in there and grab
so
what
when you get
can.
a pick or a touchdown,
go run
you
in
get
the
to go in the
machine.
money machine and grab all the cash you can, and then you come out holding $1 bills.
That'd be kind of
Yeah.
sweet.
Whatever.
I'm gonna need to be more than $1
That's
bills,
better than
though.
giving $100,000 to the janitor or the
Yeah.
push-up coach. Join the let's see, the LSU coaches.
Strength and conditioning
Here's
coach,
their
probably.
bonus money. The head coach got $500,000 for winning on Friday. So during the game, there's a sack of money there for $500,000. If LSU wins, the coach gets it. If LSU loses, the boosters get it. So they're gambling legally for $500,000.
Really?
It's not like that money don't go somewhere. That's his bonus money. It's not like they give out money to an animal shelter if he doesn't win it. Where's that money go? They keep it. Come
Yeah.
on. So they're gambling. He's betting $500,000. All the assistant coaches, including the push-up coach, which is the strength and conditioning coach. I call him the push-up coach. Got $15,000 to $25,000 bonuses apiece. I did the math on it. It's about $11,000 a player if you add all that up and split it up between the players and the coaches included. So everybody out there could have got $11,000.
Yeah.
Or the head coach gets $500.
The players got some damn headphones.
There you go.
And they got some Beats by Dre's.
Yeah.
And,
At the Fiesta Bowl, they got extra salsa after they won because the Tostitos Bowl. So that's what they got.
Yeah.
But the head coach got $500,000.
Meanwhile, the Clemson and Ohio State players got PlayStations.
Right.
It was the PlayStation
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah. I'm cool with, I mean,
I mean, hey.
you can, because they're kids, you can give them PlayStations
No,
and
they're not.
they're happy.
No, they're not.
They're still kids.
If Chase Young comes over to your house, Juwan,
It
beats
socks
you
in the
up,
mouth.
does bad things to your wife,
Oh, my God.
would you want him charged as a kid?
No.
Okay, that's all I got to say.
I'm just saying that, you know what I mean.
Look, just
They're
say
students.
They're not kids.
And
They're not
they're-
kids.
They're
These are all
YAs.
adults.
They're YAs. They're young adults.
Young adults.
YAs.
Yeah.
They're young adults.
Yeah.
Listen,
Some of them are kids.
Some of them might be 18 year
you
olds.
think the
Yeah,
Johnson
17, so you got 17, 18-year-old
were
players
the
on the
Johnsons kids when we were in high school?
team. No,
That's what I'm saying.
it wasn't fair.
These are
either.
grown men.
Yeah.
These starters, Chase Young is a grown man.
He's a
I'm
big
not saying
dude,
he's a
man.
bad. I'm not. Please do not say I'm saying he's bad. What I'm saying is that these are adults.
Yeah.
They can vote. The only thing they can't do now is buy cigarettes, apparently,
Can't buy cigarettes or pop the top.
or drink a beer.
Man.
But they
That's
can
crazy, though.
they can fight for the country.
Yeah.
If they shoot somebody at 18, they're not going to be charged as a minor. You rape
No,
somebody at 20, you're not going to be charged as a
No.
minor. So I get on that a lot of times when people say, "Well, the kids would love PlayStation." Yeah, if they were 16-year-old high school kids. If I'm
Right.
a 21-year-old and you say you want $20,000 for a PlayStation, I want the
Right.
$20,000.
And I can go get my own PlayStation.
I can buy my own PlayStation,
Yeah.
and I can pay for a year of community college to y'all to teach me this remedial math you're teaching me, at North Carolina in their fake classes. Like it's just what?
Yep.
It's all.
I don't know what fake classes you're talking about.
Yes,
I don't know what fake Carolina. No.
Do you know anything about that, Hunter?
No, no,
Nah, I don't know
no,
anything
no.
about that.
I get a quality education.
Absolutely.
First of all, they didn't break any athletic rules, and they outlawed the NCAA, but they had fake classes.
Look, you know how much money you gotta have to outlawyer the NCAA? I ain't never seen that happen.
Well, what they did is they turned it in. So the technicality that they got away with on is that what's NCAA stand for?
National Collegiate
Athletic Association.
Yeah.
They have no jurisdiction and no rights to tell a college how hard their classes have to be. So that's how they got by with it. So they had real classes. Everybody could attend, but they weren't real hard or real difficult. And so the Athletic Association has no jurisdiction over how hard your classes are. Mm-hmm. And that's how Carolina outlawed them. Wasn't spending money with them. He said, you just don't have any jurisdiction.
Yeah.
It was a jurisdiction argument is what Carolina used on that. That's all it was. And they won on that.
I'm just glad we won it. Yeah, I'm just glad we won.
Well, it's helped real out. It's helped real good. What's their record now?
Oh, we suck this year, dog. God. Oh, we ain't got to talk about it up here now.
Why not?
I'm embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed. Man, look, coaching, man. I'm going to tell you like this. I know I'm going way off subject now, but I've never been a Roy Williams fan. He's got one play. Run. Well, what happens when we can't? He's not an X's and O's coach, man.
There's no half court offense.
It's never been.
You are a man after my heart right now. Because, from my experience, so when I went to Carolina basketball camp 3 years. So they teach you the Carolina offense. You just run that offense, basically, right? When I went to Bessemer, they were running that offense. So I knew that offense.
Yeah.
But I knew the Bessemer offense walking on the court better than anyone else on the floor, just because I went to Carolina basketball school. And none of the guys, they had. So this is a new offense to them. They didn't have I'm just sitting there, you go here, go here. Like, how do you know? I'm like, trust me, I've been told this. So if I, a 17-year-old who hasn't been to college yet, knew the Carolina offense, do you not think Coach K knows the Carolina's offense?
Absolutely he does.
All right, so basically it's called the secondary break is what they run. They do got a few plays out of bounds and a few plays after the secondary break. But the secondary break is an offense designed to have about 10 different options before you ever call a play. And by the time that's over, the shot clock is over. So, Dean Smith invented this. Roy Williams, you're saying he doesn't have any play. You're right. He's using Dean's play.
Yeah.
So what it is that point guard pushes the ball. You got two guards to the right side of the court or two guards to the left. Whichever side the point guard chooses, you got two guards that side. The other guy has to swing around to the other. Then the two big men run the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever gets the rebound or takes that out of bounds is the trailer. The other guy goes. You get down the court. The point guard, his first job is to do two things. Feed it to the post on the guy running or put it in the corner so he can feed it to the post. So the first two options are throw it to the post. And if you'll notice, Carolina's, over the years, we talk about this, they have 4 or 5 big men. Yep. They feed in the post, and they don't really have wing shooters. Well, that offense is not designed for wings. It's designed for point guards to run it, get it to the wings to then get it to the big man. So you got 1-2 options. If you don't like that, you can then swing it back to the big man on the other side. Then the big man, he has a couple choices. He can swing it to the other guard, he can drive it, or he can do a bounce pass down to the big man. So if he whatever choice he makes off that, then everyone else has something else to do. So that's basically the responsibilities of. That's the entire. I just explained to you Tar Heels offense in 45 seconds or a minute or two. I don't know, but either way, that's what they do. And if I know it, doesn't Duke know it?
Yeah.
And everyone else. And I think that's where you're getting at on the thing. And my point on the Roy is at what point, and the thing with Coach K and Mac Brown, did you want? Kuechly retired at 28. At what point do you make enough millions of dollars as, say, a coach at a college, say Carolina or Duke, to where you're like, it's time to move on, it's time to quit? Is the 60 and 70-year-old coaches relating now with these 18-year-olds? There's
That's a good question.
There's so many questions I have for that. Like, if it's not North Carolina, you're watching on TV. What's his pitch? Like, what's Roy's pitch? What's he want to do with the team? I think Carolina fans and Duke fans need to realize, you don't have a right to be the best team in the nation every year.
You got to earn it.
And
well, what Duke
it turns into
how Duke aligned themselves good with this new basketball is they got into the one and done stuff.
Right.
You know,
and Duke was already shooting threes before everyone else.
they've been doing that. They was doing that when we was kids.
Carolina goes for twos, Carolina goes for twos, Duke goes for three. And you're right, they've been doing that forever. So and so the mathematics backed them into it. The
Carolina,
analytics.
we get all the. It's like we get the second tier of everybody who doesn't want to be one and done, and everybody else, and all the top 10 people, and then we get what's
if we're
left.
gonna stick on college basketball real quick, that's a good point. I want people to realize Clemson beat North Carolina at North Carolina, and in the following game they beat Duke. I think they were at Clemson. I don't think they were at Cameron. It's always a difficult place to win. And to me, North Carolina is very young. Duke, it seems like every year is young because they don't. What's the word that I always? They reload. It's not rebuild.
Rebuild, yes.
They always reload. They bring in so much talent. But who's number one in the nation right now? Do you know who number one in the nation is right now? I can tell you. If you don't, I know.
Hold on, let me think about it because I just seen it. Go ahead. I forgot.
It's Gonzaga.
Yeah.
When has Gonzaga really ever been known to have one and dones? They don't.
Never. No.
They really don't. What was the team that beat Duke last year in the tournament when they had, 3 out of the top 15 lottery picks?
Yeah.
Michigan State.
Yep.
And what do those teams do? They don't buy into this one and done mentality.
Juwan,
they
true or false?
build.
You ready? True or false?
Yeah.
If you're a coach and you have 3 All-Americans in your starting lineup and can't make the Final Four, should you be fired? If you can't make the Sweet 16, Juwan, with 3. Did they make Sweet 16? I don't know.
Yeah, they made the Elite Eight.
Which one?
I'm talking about
Gonzaga?
Duke.
Oh,
Duke.
Duke.
Should Coach K be fired for not
They
making
made the Elite
No.
Eight.
the Final Four with 3?
No, he shouldn't be
No,
fired. That's false.
Wasn't it 3 top 10 draft picks?
Yeah, it was 3 top 10.
3 top 10 draft picks.
Man, if Coach K was our coach, we'd have way more titles than we got.
You think that?
I know it. I think so.
I think it'd be about the same. They're fighting over the same players.
I mean,
because
because you got to think
They really are.
The reason why we win it every 4 to 5 years is because we got
Senior
2 or 3
and
good
junior
seniors. That stayed,
got
that chose
seniors.
to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So man, it was times we was loaded, man, absolutely loaded, and just
Look, the best team that I've seen them have that didn't win a national championship had Kendall Marshall, Harrison Barnes, Tyler Zeller, and John Henson all on the same team. And I can't even remember the 2 guard because that speaks to what Kevin was saying.
They would have got smoked by those 90s teams.
Yeah, they would have.
yeah.
That didn't win nothing.
That's the
worst
best team
team in the
that I've
90s.
seen.
The worst team in the 90s won the championship.
Yeah.
Is that the year? I'm trying to remember who the 2 guard was. That year.
When they won the title?
The team he just called out.
Oh God, was
Another
it
team that
Bullock? Was it Reggie Bullock?
I think it might have been. I think
When
it was
Danny
Bullock.
Green, was it?
He was 5.
Nah, Danny Green won one.
Yeah, he won. Or he was the 2009 team
Okay.
with Hansborough and Ty Lawson.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because Harrison Barnes, out of recent years, has been the best wing player that North Carolina has recruited that could put the ball on the floor and shoot the 3. Because what did we always say North Carolina is good at doing? They bring in point guards and they're good at bringing in bigs. It speaks to the offense that they run. And the one year that they didn't win the national championship when they really had pieces everywhere was the Tyler Zeller, John Henson, the big men down low that one of them could play defense, one of them was good on offense.
Yep.
Kendall Marshall could put the ball anywhere on the court, and Harrison Barnes was the clutch.
Yeah.
He was the clutch gene on the team.
Now, the years we did win it, we always had some shooters, though. We always had at least one, from
Joel Berry, Cam Johnson.
right. Or we had McCants and what's the other guy?
McCants won that championship.
Raymond
Tar Heel
Felton.
fans don't want to give him
No,
the
it was
credit
another
for it.
wing. Wayne Ellington.
Wayne Ellington.
Wayne Ellington
Yeah,
could
Wayne
shoot
Ellington.
just as good as McCants. From back when we had
Ty Lawson could shoot, but he could get you to the rack in a blink of an eye.
I used to love Ty Lawson.
15.
Man.
Let's see. I was looking at Harrison Barnes' NBA numbers right now. 15-5. Remember, the Hornets didn't draft him for MKG. I don't know if he's ever averaged 15-5.
I don't know,
season.
just the way that you still win titles on the college level is building teams.
You have to have juniors. You
gotta have that leadership. It's not one and dones anymore. Because like I said, the only team that really was built with one and dones to win a championship in recent memory was Kentucky with Anthony Davis and MKG.
Yep. And the year they actually had a better team, they didn't win it.
No, they didn't.
With Cousins and John Wall.
That's what I said. A lot of times these
Yeah.
better teams don't win. Like, those mid-90 Tar Heels don't have a title. Stackhouse, Wallace, Carter, and
Oh,
Jamison
man.
don't have a title.
Look, what was it they talked about last year? Was the Zion RJ train. Zion RJ train. Cam Reddish. Guess what? They didn't win it. They didn't win it.
So, MKG.
The team that won it was Virginia, who was loaded with juniors and
the
seniors.
Hornets number 2
With solid players.
The Hornets number 2 pick in 2012 averaged double figures twice in his whole career. Now remember, Kevin Durant was the number 2 pick,
Yeah.
averaging 27 over his career. MKG averages 8 points over his career. So 12.7 is MKG's career high. Barnes has done that the last 5 years in a row. 6 years in a row.
We're going to mess around and bump into MKG one day. And
Bring it.
I hope I do. I'm going to challenge you
What is he gonna do?
challenge you to a game of horse.
Kick our ass. That's what he going to
He
do.
hey, he might, but he ain't going to beat me in horse.
Well, as long as you say no dunking.
Yeah.
How about this?
No dunking.
Hey, I'm going to pat him on the back. You ready? I'm going to say something good about him. He shoots better free throws than LeBron.
With that
crazy.
ugly
That's crazy,
shot.
man. I don't know what's wrong with LeBron, man.
Come on, you know what it is. Look at his shot. It's behind his ear. You can't shoot free throws. That's a shot. That right there is a shot to get extra
it's
muscle.
Worse.
I know. So think about it. That's his natural shooting motion is here, and that's shooting over people and shooting 3-pointers.
Yeah.
At the free throw line, he could put it underhanded and flip it, and it gets there.
I don't
So
know
it's
why
all
people
about
don't
touch.
do that, man.
I changed my free throw shot my senior year, and I was shooting 90%. My regular shot is up over my head to get a little muscle into it, maybe some to the side, just depends on what's going on. My free throw shot, I put it right in front of my face, and all I do is pop my elbow and spin and flip my wrist. That is all, and it goes up there and just sits so soft. And you almost have to change your free throw shot to do it. And what I'm saying is that I'm not saying I could fix LeBron. What I'm saying is that when he goes back behind his head, any further back you guys go this way, you're getting more power under. So watch when he misses the free throw. It's all because this arm is cocked, and he's putting power behind it. If he
It's
would
like
start
a rubber band.
if he would start
Pull
here,
it far back and pow.
Yeah.
if he would start out
Yep.
here, Juwan, and not bend his elbow, and all he did was flick his wrist,
Look at the flick of the wrist.
he would hit it. But trust me, I'm telling you, he shoots his free throws like a you remember when you were 12 and 13, you couldn't quite get it to the rim.
Yeah.
You cocked your elbow back a little bit more, get a little more muscle on it, and that's the way LeBron shoots. Watch Steph Curry. Every shot he takes is exactly the same. He figured out the 12-year-old shooting method to where you push from in front and just finish up high. Steph shoots just like a bunch of 12-year-olds. But he got stronger and bigger, and he kept going. He kept the same form. It's just straight up and release. LeBron is to the side, and he's using all these muscles and all these shoulders, and that's part of what Shaq. He's so big, like, and his hand was so much bigger than the ball, and you just gotta watch Michael shoot a free throw, and it's kind of the same thing. You can tell he slows it down, and he puts it right in front of his face, and he just follows straight through. When he closed his eyes,
I was
you
about
can
to say,
see,
Mike
you can
do it
watch
with his
that
eyes
one.
closed.
You watch that one where he closed his eyes against Dikembe and watch his form on that, and then he knew he was going to make it because of the form. It wasn't because, hey, I'm that good a shooter. It's because of the form. And I think that's LeBron's biggest problem. I know I went on a free throw tangent there, folks, but it is an embarrassment that he hasn't been better. 67% is not good. You can't go around calling yourself the GOAT as a wing like Shaq.
Man,
That's close to Shaq area.
It kills us at the end of games, dog. Because he's
I
scared
forgot
to go
you're a
to the
Lakers
line.
fan now. Now you got him. Yeah, he is. Is he
He's
not?
scared to go to the line at the end of the games, man.
It's been that way for years.
Why you think he kicks it out when he tries to
That's
drive it in?
exactly what he does.
And is
At
that
the end of the shot clock.
the end of the
Hold on,
game.
Here,
Right,
no,
shot
you
clock.
shoot it.
all right? When he won that, he lost the last championship in Cleveland. He had a shot to shoot, and he threw it out of bounds off somebody's legs, or maybe it's JR or somebody cut, and he tried to hit him. I'm like, why didn't he shoot? Michael Jordan wouldn't have thrown a backdoor cut to John Paxson. He kicked it out to him when he was over.
This has
Actually,
been my
Horace Grant
problem
kicked it out.
with LeBron James. since I've ever started watching him play. I'll admit he's talented. He's uber
Absolutely.
talented.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's uber talented. But I do not, people will try and say it, I don't see a killer instinct in LeBron James.
No.
No,
I
there's
don't
not.
see it at all. When you mean to tell me that it's the smart basketball play, and it might be, I don't care.
It's not.
But-
Whatever you're about to say, it's
but
not.
This is what people will say. He makes the smart basketball play when the game is on the line and he's driving the lane and kicks it out for a 3-point shot. Excuse me, you mean to tell me that you don't want to just take it to the rack at 6'9", 250
Because you don't want to
pounds,
shoot them free throws.
and you don't want to get fouled? That's
what it
exactly why.
is.
It's because he knows he can't hit the free throw
Anybody
shots.
else would
But-
love to get fouled.
But even with the opportunity that you just make the layup anyways because you're so much bigger and jump so much higher than everybody else, you might get the and one. That's why I cannot get behind LeBron, because he don't win games unless he just puts up uber numbers and they win by a lot. If it's close, somebody else wins the game for him
Yep.
and he gets the credit
Yep.
because he kicked it out to him. This is why I cannot get behind LeBron. I'll sit here and say, hey, he's a fantastic passer. He's a great rebounder. I hope you are at 6'9".
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he can score. He's bigger than everybody. Okay, I mean,
Well, I mean, he didn't get more rebounds than Larry Bird got in his career, or Charles Barkley. Larry Bird averaged double-double. You know his numbers? It's 24 and 10.
Yeah.
Larry Bird from the small, he played small forward too. Mm-hmm. He was
he's
24
nowhere near LeBron's size.
and 10 rebounds a game for Larry. You know, I'm sitting here looking at the free throw percentage is 69% this year, 73 in his career. Shaq was 52, if that gives you an idea on Shaq's free throw percentage. But yeah, Jawan, I said, this is one of my things I always try to point out to the younger generation. Like, okay, here's the difference between Jordan and LeBron on those, and the same thing with Kobe. And you being a Kobe fan, you saw Jordan, you know this.
Mm-hmm.
If Kobe and Jordan's on the team, you got one shot. What play do you draw up? You don't have to be a specific play, but is the shot one going to be taken by Michael or Kobe?
Absolutely.
All right, and then two, are you going to draw up the play for them to take a shot?
Yes.
Okay. If you're coaching LeBron, the play they draw up is LeBron drive and kick it to the
Kick
dude
it.
in the corner.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there arguing about who's the GOAT, whatever, and you're going to sit there and say, well, I think the guy who won 3, who kicks it to other people to shoot, is better than the guy who keeps
Yep.
it himself and has won all of them
Yep.
and never gotten beat.
And
We've been on plenty of basketball courts. You don't want the best player kicking it to the worst
No.
player.
No.
No.
And speaking of that too,
if you were
Imagine-
that guy, then get it done.
right? And see, Magic Johnson would kick it to players, but in the last second, he was still taking the shot. Magic was still go. Magic would hit you with Kareem's shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hey, man,
that
you
killer,
know,
it's the killer.
I just hope when we get to the finals,
What's gonna
that
be
we blow them out.
Y'all
'cause
ain't making
I don't
that.
want to get a close game.
What's going to be funny? That's funny. Now you're a LeBron fan because you.
No,
have
I'm
to
not a
be-
LeBron fan. I'm a Lakers fan. I don't own any LeBron jerseys. None.
I was wondering where that loyalty was how that was gonna
Nah,
go
I'm
on
still a
that.
Kobe fan. Well, that's what I was gonna say earlier when we was talking about man crushes. So we can lead this to Luke Kuechly if that's what you was going.
At some point, yeah.
My man crush was Kobe. I remember watching him tear his Achilles. My eyes watered up. They did, man, because I felt like I was watching the end of Kobe. You know what I'm saying?
You did watch the end
I
of Kobe.
technically did watch the
Literally,
end
you
of
did.
that Kobe.
Yeah.
And you know, I came up through high school, late middle school, and high school with Kobe. I just seen the man do a lot of stuff that I ain't seen nobody else do other than Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird.
And
Like,
when I seen it happen, I was like, dang, like I felt so bad for him, man. I almost shed a tear.
just the thought what I said a minute ago about the play call. That one burns at me to where, like, you would actually draw the play for LeBron to kick it, and they'll say, well, Michael threw it to Paxson or whoever. Well, no, Horace Grant swung it around to Paxson. Kerr was swung to him on a double team.
Yeah.
It wasn't that wasn't the play drawn up. It was Michael was doubled. He swung it.
Yeah. But Kerr knew before
Yeah.
that play that he was going to get the ball.
And Michael, when he let go of the ball, was near half court. He wasn't driving to the free throw line and then kicking it to someone else. And those were only 2 plays in a career that you could that people could even say that they weren't designing it for Michael. And I think that's where a lot of people get it, is that when you're going from the start of it, was that the aggressiveness, the he don't take it himself type thing. All right. So that was our LeBron rant for a minute.
LeBron
got turned
college basketball slash basketball.
Right.
Slash
before
ODB.
Before we talk about the Panthers, I want to go through some other tweets and notes of the day for some fun real quick. Let's see if any other ones. I might have already went through them. I was having fun earlier. There's a picture of Macaulay Culkin and Sunshine talking about Joe Burrows and Trevor Lawrence. It says McCulkin is Joe Burrow and Sunshine over there, of course, is Trevor Lawrence from Remember the Titans.
I think Leonard Fournette had called Trevor Lawrence Sunshine before the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T.O., I know we talked about this Monday. T.O. says the Cowboys should sign Tom Brady and let Dak go.
Yeah.
That's what Terrell Owens says.
T.O. don't know what the hell he's talking about.
All right. First question, Hunter.
Yeah.
What did Luke Kuechly pass interfere with Gronk?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember that years back.
Yeah, that's when they put, yeah.
He bear hugged him.
And
they didn't call it, right?
No, they didn't.
I was sitting,
that was to end the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was sitting about the 8th row in this corner when this happened. And I got the picture over here. A lot of people, can't see it on my phone there. But the slow motion picture of it is Kuechly has his arms wrapped around Gronk. The DB's coming up to pick it off, and the ball is not even in the frame. It's not like the ball is right there on him. He's already wrapped him up with the ball in the air. Patriots fans did not like that one.
No,
I remember
being
I was in the side. Like I said, I was like the 8th row, and we were sitting on the aisle. So I was looking right down the barrel at this play, and I
Luke
just threw my
Kuechly
hands
doesn't
up.
make mistakes,
Is that
man.
what it is?
No, man. Luke walks on water.
All right, Juwan, real quick. Let's see if you can answer the question. The past 9 years, the Panthers have had 3 winning seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the coach's fault, the quarterback's fault, or the leader of the defense is the linebacker's fault? Someone has to take the blame at some point, and Panther fans ain't giving it to nobody. And
None of those three. So far, the scapegoat was Rivera.
I'm just trying to figure out who.
I don't think Rivera was.
I really
should've
don't
been the
think he
scapegoat.
was the scapegoat.
I just want to know. Like
Should
I said,
have been at
so
least.
when Panther fans evaluate it and evaluate the 9 years, you're going to look back and you see we only had 3 winning seasons in Cam and Luke and Rivera's tenure. Ask every Panthers fan and folks; they love Ron Rivera. Jason Garrett never had a losing season. Cowboys fans, get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Rivera had,
Y'all have
counting
more talent.
this year,
Cowboys have way more
6
talent,
losing
though.
seasons. How many MVPs have been on the Cowboys the last 10 years?
None.
Okay, then. Panthers got one, right? Is Luke Kuechly not the greatest linebacker ever if you ask
Luke
the Panther
Kuechly
fans?
is also one of defensive
That has
player
the
of the year.
Yeah.
And
Right.
defensive rookie of the year.
So have
Yeah.
the Cowboys had a defensive player of the year? No. Haven't had an MVP? No. Had they had a coach of the year? No. Let's see.
Have they made a Super Bowl? No.
No.
They
They
haven't made a conference championship.
Have they
yet.
had more talent?
No.
Yes.
That's an opinion.
I
just
gave
told you-
yours too.
So you're saying
facts.
So
right.
according
saying facts.
to Juwan, Panthers have 2 good players and trash. Dallas has 53. Wait a minute. Let me reword that. Panthers have 2 great players and 51 trash players. The Cowboys have 53 good players. Is that how we're working this?
No.
Is that
that's
the
not
angle
what I
we're
said.
working?
That's not
I'm
what I
about to
said.
say, I don't
At
think
any
you
given year.
want to say that to D'Angelo Williams. You don't want to say that to Jonathan Stewart. You don't want to say that.
No, they're not
to
trash.
Steve
Yeah.
Smith.
You don't want to say
Steve
that to Steve
Smith.
Smith. You don't want to say that to Thomas Davis either.
Graham
Aw,
Gano.
man.
Grandma.
I mean, Graham Gano, he ain't got
I
nothing
was
on
just
John
joking.
Casey.
I was
though.
just joking.
John Casey was the man.
Greg Olson.
He needs a statue.
I mean,
John Casey needs a statue. Hell yeah. That's Mr.
that's
Clutch.
my position.
Yeah,
That's
but he
always
was
been my
Mr. Clutch,
position.
man.
Here's the
He's
thing.
saved
All
a
right.
lot of games for
Luke
them.
Kuechly,
All right, go ahead.
8 seasons,
Right.
defensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 players have been able to go back-to-back years doing that: defensive rookie of the year and defensive player of the year, and it was Luke Kuechly and Lawrence Taylor.
That don't mean nothing to me.
I know. I'm just giving Luke Kuechly where the props that he's earned. 7 times he was All Pro.
That don't mean nothing to
5
me.
times he was first team.
That don't mean nothing to me. Because you know what all those are? Things people vote on. Now, I'll give him the credit for the interceptions.
Yeah, he's got 18.
That's
major.
That was nice.
He's got 18 interceptions. Only one of them was a touchdown. Do better.
Really?
Do better.
Dang.
Only one of them was a touchdown.
Now, and he's led the league in tackles a lot of years since he's been in the league.
I'll tell you what,
since
solo tackles in his career, 690.
Right.
I
do want to shoot a quick.
He's only had one 100 solo tackle season.
I want to shoot a quick hole in his tackles, and I'll see if Juwan agrees with me or not. You can say no. You can say yes. That's fine. The Panthers, since he's been in the league, have led the league in nickel defense. That means 2 linebackers, right?
Okay.
Does that not mean those 2 guys are going to get more tackles than if they had 3 people out there?
You talking about just because they run him and TD?
Right. So they're playing a nickel. They got 2 linebackers instead of 3.
And they have the rest
they
of them on the
play
edge.
way more than anyone else in nickel defense. That's their defense. They love the nickel.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, instead of having 3 linebackers, another linebacker would take out 5-10 tackles a game if he was out there.
Yeah, but I think they played so much because they could both cover too.
Well, I know that, but my point is that the tackle numbers are overflated. Is all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying he wasn't good. I'm not saying he wasn't great. I'm
this.
saying his tackle numbers are overflated because they were playing a nickel, and there's only 2 guys out there to make the tackle.
say this,
if
though,
it's left side, I got it. If it's right side, Thomas
They
Davis
obviously used Luke Kuechly for a whole lot more in coverage than they did for him going and getting the passer. He's
right.
in
He
his
was great.
career.
Yeah.
He don't have a lot of sacks.
12 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
In 8 seasons, he's got 12 and a half sacks. Von Miller, well, he's an edge. I know this. Sacks,
Probably had that 1 year, didn't he?
he's got 106.
Yeah.
He's got 106.
I mean, totally different players.
They are totally different players.
Totally
they're
different
both
defenses.
they're both linebackers.
What made Kuechly good is the film study and knowing him and Ray Lewis and a couple of linebackers the last few years changed the game in the middle of the field to where
they basically became quarterbacks.
right.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I definitely agree.
And putting the guys in position on defense, you know as well as I do, is almost as important as
Oh my God.
playing hard or doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah,
Like as
it
long
is.
as everybody can get in position, then you can go from there. And I think he was outstanding at that.
Yeah, when you got a guy that can tell every person what they're supposed to be doing on that play, that's
I
great.
would say this: if he's just done playing football, he'll make a hell of a defensive coordinator.
Oh man. Yeah.
He'll make a hell of a defensive coordinator.
Before you came in there, I told Andre, I said, I wish the Cowboys would have Browns have Romo at the offensive coordinator and Kuechly the defensive coordinator. They would know every play.
Romo knows his stuff.
Every single play.
I think Romo's a better announcer than he was a quarterback, man.
I ain't that good.
You know,
He ain't that good.
he's pretty good. He tells you what the play is going to be before it happens.
Who had more losses in their career, Cam Newton or Tony Romo?
Cam probably did.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Tony's the man. He's the good. He's the great. He's the best
Kuechly.
Dallas Cowboy
God.
quarterback
You guys,
of all time.
You said you didn't watch the video. Did you watch the video
Of-
Kuechly put out?
No, I didn't watch this.
Did you watch the video Kuechly put? That's how he announced it. He made a video.
Oh, nah.
There's only one way to play this game since I was a little kid. Play fast, play physical.
I did see the video.
And play
Yep,
strong.
I seen it.
And at this point, I don't know if I'm able to do that anymore. That's the part that is the most difficult. So now we get to look back because everybody's going to question, but we all know in the back of our head, the question is why? Why is he stepping away after only 8 seasons, young age? I'll just give you a list. He retired. They're talking about notables. He was at age 28. Gronk was 29. Andrew Luck was 29. Doug Baldwin, that was different, though. Injury, it was like severely. 30. Cam Chancellor, 30. Calvin Johnson, 30. Patrick Willis, 30. Jake Locker, 26. And Chris Borland, 24. This was from 2014 to 2019. Notable early exits. I think we all know what it means by he can't play it fast and physical anymore. I think the concussions have caught up with him.
Yeah.
And if it isn't the concussions themselves, it's PTSD from the concussions.
From the concussions.
The definition of a concussion is basically your brain
Is
bumping
bruised.
up against your skull. All right, so there's some fluid between the brain and the skull, and when it gets through the fluid and hits your skull, you get a concussion. It's basically a brain bruise. It's a concussion.
Brain bruise, exactly what it is.
So, with that said, Jawan, every single play, are you not technically probably getting a concussion?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember.
Now, receivers and some people that don't, if you don't hit every play, necessarily maybe not. But you've hit plenty of people in the head. Every time you hit someone in the head, I think we had concussion every single time.
And I want people
if
to
that's
realize,
the definition of brain hitting the wall of your head,
yeah.
Especially,
and they're they're
two
trying,
people
they're
hitting
trying to
their
tell
heads.
you how to tackle now to get away from it, but even still, your head makes contact.
it does. And not only that, man, that's like,
how about this? I didn't start being a really good tackler until I realized that if I don't use my helmet as a weapon, other people are using it on me.
Yep.
Everyone out there uses their helmet as a weapon, and you get hurt if you do not protect yourself and use it back. Because as soon as you use it back, they'll stop doing it to you, and it shuts it down. But you got to get hit heads at some point.
Yeah.
And the thing about Kuechly, he's a middle linebacker. Every single play,
Every play.
whether he's
every
making
play.
the tackle, if he's not making the tackle, he's getting blocked by a lineman hitting him. They haven't reported a concussion since what? Is it 2017 was the last one on that list?
for
It
him.
may be in that
I
story.
remember. I remember the
For
bad
him?
one he had. It was against us, and I was actually at the game.
Was that when he was crying?
when he was crying?
All right.
He didn't know where he was at, dog.
Right. They should have made him quit then. And I'm sorry, but like, if you're hitting the head and you come off crying, you're not. It's not right. It's not. It's
Man,
not. It's not.
I'm gonna tell
good.
you what I think about, even beyond him. Like, you remember what the helmets I'm looking at right now? You remember what the inside of these helmets used to feel like, dude?
Oh, we didn't have nothing.
There wasn't.
It was
compared to.
it was the 2017 was when he carted off with tears.
Yeah, it's been.
Okay.
it's
That was
been-
the last one.
It's been 2 years since then, and they're telling you in all the practices, in all the games, he
This
never had
is,
one concussion.
I was reading.
So they're full of crap. The NFL
Yeah.
is about the concussion thing.
Yeah, did you
They-
notice-
they pulled the 10 up for the concussion?
right. Did
Think
you
about
notice
that.
the thing he started wearing though the past 3 seasons? That little
Yeah, the little
band
neck
around his,
wrap.
yeah.
Yeah.
The creator calls it like the Q band, and it's supposed to help reduce the possibility of concussions. I'm like, bro, that's
Yeah,
that's a band.
it's a necklace.
I want you to I want you to tell me
What they're-
exactly how that works.
Yeah.
What that one is doing is that's keeping the that's not keeping on the head contact.
No,
Hunter.
that
That's
might be
that's
helping with his neck.
That's the neck
Yeah.
snap. That's
Yeah.
the neck snap. If you, it's basically whiplash. You've seen the cowboy collars on the football on the
Yeah.
defenders and stuff. That's kind of what that is. I would say. The concussion thing. Aitman had the problem. Irvin broke his neck. And kind of what I want to get at, Hunter, is the next 2 years he's losing $21 million.
Then he must be just fine with it.
Now,
Yeah.
If he's that concerned.
Now-
Which I'm, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
so
You're only 28, man.
back him up to, let's look at it. Let's say, what if he was a running back?
Right.
In college, he would have had, like Zeke, 200-300 carries a year.
Mm-hmm.
He's given up $21 million on this end. How
Mm-hmm.
much did Luke give up in college? Having to go to college for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Did he play 3? He played 3 years.
It is at least 3. You have
At
to.
least- yeah, you got to
at
play
least
3 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
Either play
Because
3
of the
or 4.
NFL rule. And I've always been one that NBA, NFL, whatever, if they can find a roster spot for you, I don't care if you're 5 years old. I don't care about how old you are. I don't care how much education you've had. I don't need to be able to tell you who ran the Roman Empire if I can run a 4.4 40 and bench press an offensive lineman. None of that matters to me other than if they can play, and I don't care what age. And I think it's a shame, especially the running back. So let's say Zeke, for his situation, has 2-3 years in college. I'm going to even pull it up. I'm sure they got Ezekiel's
Well, I'll tell you this.
college stats.
Derrick Henry himself had to run enough in high school within 4 years. He got 12,000 yards.
Yeah.
So,
Now, think about, say, Derrick Henry, for example.
and he's getting 25 to 30 carries a game.
and we were
now.
talking about
12,000 yards in
that's-
high school.
dude,
4
his
years.
senior year he had 5,000 yards rushing.
Woo.
All right, so Zeke in college, 600 carries basically.
Yeah.
That's 600 unpaid possible concussion or career-ending knee injuries. 600 of them. Okay? Then he goes to the NFL. As a running back, you end up getting on a rookie scale. You're on the rookie scales. And then, so he's not running backs don't get paid to what is it, year 3 or 4 about when your rookie deal is over?
I think it's a 4-year deal.
4 year.
Okay,
years.
so you get a 4-year deal, 3 in college. That's 7 years of Cowboys and Ohio State making millions and millions and millions of dollars off of you.
Yep. Literally your back.
Before you're ever paid any of those millions, almost.
Right.
So Zeke, I'm going to look at his. So he's averaging 300 carries in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So he had 2 years in college, basically, of carries. That someone basically, if he's paid at $3.5 million, he's paid $15 million now. Is it 15 or 14? Something like that. If that's $30 million on the first end, if that's what he's paid then, or if you want to do the rookie deal and say it's $3 million a year, so you lost $6 million in college.
Yeah.
What if he retires at 28 or 29 and misses 3 or 4 more years? So you're losing millions and millions and millions of dollars. Whatever you want to argue about their worth in college, you can't argue with those running backs and those linebackers like Kuechly is losing millions off of, and this kind of goes back off of playing with these guys, and it goes back to what we're talking about, the adults, non-adults. Don't want to pay high school kids, that's fine, whatever. They're not adults, blah, blah, blah. They don't make, the coach isn't making $1 million.
Yeah.
That's the thing. These are adults, these are 19 and 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds that are making millions for a university and millions for a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not, and to me that's where I get to the line of I almost would rather them just let them go pro whenever they wanted to. If someone is willing to sign them, you don't think Chase Young could have played for an NFL team this year? Joe Burrows could have played for somebody.
Yeah,
all these kids are worth something, or worth. And I think that the concussion thing, that's when it really gets to me, is that when you cut these running backs and linebackers short. So Zeke's at 24 now. He's going to have 4 more years of good years, and then after that is no more. And so he could have 4 or 5 years of prime, but actually play 12 to 13 years of football and only get paid for the 3 or 4 years.
Right.
So the concussion,
running backs get one big contract.
Right. And then
usually that's
the concussion thing,
that's it.
When they started bringing up the tent, Hunter, I knew they were full of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I sprain an ankle, do they bring a tent over to cover it up?
No.
If I hurt my knee or anything else, they
do now. Everybody goes into the tent.
But
now.
nobody. But and none of the rules though were if you sprain an ankle, you have to sit out a game. But if you get a concussion, you might have to sit out.
All right.
So all it is to hide these dudes sitting over in this concussion tent.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff's crazy.
And then when they do pass the little rules or whatever, you know, they got the underneath stuff that when they collect, not the collective bargain, but when they what do you call it? Once they settle, once they settle all these lawsuits, we don't know. We can't talk about none of it because the part of the settlement was that they can't talk about none of it.
Can't mention it.
Yeah, so we don't even know what y'all settled for or nothing of that nature, man.
That's what I'm saying. Well, it's a big loss for the Panthers losing their middle linebacker. The question now comes into play: where do they go underneath the new regime of Matt Rule in the draft with really the quarterback of their defense gone now? The question is still also what's Cam's future, and Cam's future is in question too as well, because we'll stick with the Panthers right now. And the Carolina Panthers have went out and have signed Joe Brady, the passing coordinator from LSU, to come in and be the offensive coordinator for Matt Rule.
Did they have an offensive coordinator at LSU? Was there somebody above him?
There was someone above him.
So the Panthers,
See, he was a passing coordinator.
Hired.
Passing coordinator.
hired.
Means
Not
he
the,
coordinates the passing.
not the they hired not the offensive coordinator.
No.
They hired the guy who's friends with the quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you here, look.
I mean, what is a passing coordinator other than the friends with the quarterback?
I have them pulled up.
He's
This
30
Joe
years
Brady.
old.
Joe
30.
Brady. One minute, second. Joe Brady. In the years 2013 and 2014, he was a linebackers coach for William and Mary. In 2015
Only
till
2 players on the whole
2016, 2016, he was a graduate assistant at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
He was an offensive assistant in 2017 and 2018 to Sean Payton and the Saints.
Okay.
And then this past year, he was a passing coordinator for LSU.
All right,
None of those says coordinator.
No, what
offensive
does
coordinator.
a passing what was the term again?
Passing coordinator.
Passing coordinator. What exactly does the passing?
Well,
is that like sort of like the quarterback's coach?
That's what I get out of it, is it not?
So what does the quarterback's coach actually do?
So, you've seen practices and they're in drills and stuff,
Yeah.
right? The quarterback's coach stands there with the quarterbacks and runs drills.
Yeah, throws them the ball.
The offensive coordinator puts the plays together and calls the plays. Each position coach gets what they want. The offensive coordinator gives each position coach what they want them to do.
Yeah,
and then that's what they do.
And the skills position coaches the drills
right
of the skills
basically.
Yeah.
So the Panthers. So the Panthers. He doesn't call the plays, does he?
A pass game coordinator knows the ins and outs and the weaknesses of your opponent's defense through the passing game.
And that's the Panthers' offensive coordinator. Calling plays. He's going to be the one delegating to his assistants who are all going to be older than him. He's 30, Juwan. 30. He's going to be talking to players and assistants, telling them what to do who are older than him. I'm pretty sure he never played in the NFL considering he's 30. He's been coaching for 5 years.
Right, yeah, he definitely didn't play.
Now, I don't think, real quick on the coaching thing, I don't think you have to play in the NFL to coach. But you should have played high school or college to coach. You can't. These people that coach and have never played at all, that baffles me because I think that takes away a job from someone who actually is qualified.
Passing game coordinator means he will be implementing the passing game each week in the game plan. So
he's not even concerned with runs.
So I was about to say,
yeah.
So he works with 50% of the offense.
How does McCaffrey going to feel about this?
Now he makes up that, and see that's
They're
what I
line
told.
him up at receiver.
This is what I told one of my buddies. I told him this because he's a Panthers fan, and he agreed with me because he's not a Cam Newton fan. He's just a Panthers fan. I said, look, bringing in Joe Brady essentially means it's the end of Cam Newton, and what I mean by that is this: Joe Brady worked with New Orleans passing game.
Yeah.
And what is Drew Brees? He's a pocket passer.
Right. He's not
running. He's not running around. He's not drawing up draws for Drew Brees. He's not drawing up read option plays for Drew Brees. Okay, he has the passing game drawn up, and it works with Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, and all them guys because they have Drew Brees to throw to him. Okay, he's a passing quarterback. He went to LSU. What did we see with Joe Burrow? He's a passing quarterback. He might be able to move, but they did not run many read options with him at all this year. Obviously they didn't. He threw for over 5,600 yards. Okay, he's got 60 touchdowns, and if he ran it, it was only because he was chased out of the pocket. I know in the national championship game they drew up a couple draw plays, but guess what? He has nothing to do with that. If he's the passing game coordinator. If he's the passing game coordinator, he's just calling up the pass game.
The pass game. That's it.
So far, his past two places he's worked at before coming to the Panthers, pocket passer. And now you think the offense is going to look the same with a quarterback who misses wide open receivers in the offense that they already run. Now, with him coming in, having done passing coordination or whatever he was an offensive assistant. With Sean Payton, he knows how to get the running back involved with it because he had Alvin Kamara. So I don't think Christian McCaffrey's out of it, like passing wise. I think he's actually going to be a real focal point because that's what New Orleans did with Alvin Kamara for a while because he's just
they're going to throw a heck of a swing pass to McCaffrey.
Yeah, they're going to throw a heck of a swing pass. But here's the thing: they don't really have as many, top tier wide receivers in Carolina that they did with the stud that's Michael Thomas in New Orleans and the 2 or 3 studs that they just had at LSU.
Yeah.
See the thing about the running.
So I don't think I think this honestly spells the end for Cam Newton in Carolina because I do not see his skill set meshing with what Joe Brady is going to want to do with this offense. Joe Brady is a product of the West Coast offense. And Cam Newton is not a West Coast offensive quarterback. Now, Kyle Allen might be. This might be their opportunity to consider continuing with Kyle Allen for another year and letting him run this offense. But to me, Cam, I'm sorry, but you're just going to be somewhere else next year.
Listen, if Panther fans, here's your play. I'm making your team better. You have to not worry about feelings about your players.
No. This is a business.
Trade your quarterback.
Do you want to win or do you want to just feel happy to see him on the field?
Trade your quarterback. And that means this year you'll have 20 and if you keep Kyle Allen, you'll have $20 million this year and next year to sign free agents. You'll have a couple of more draft picks than you would. And you get to try out the young kid and see if he does good. If he doesn't, you pick Trevor Lawrence next year if you can, or someone else. It's not that everybody's like, what are they going to do? Well, every year they pick 4 quarterbacks in the first round. Yeah. Guess what? They can pick someone. No, will that guy be good? But Kyle Allen won, counting the year before, 6 out of 14 games. Cam was 6-10 his rookie year. Was anybody saying Cam's garbage and we can't win with this guy? No, they're like, hey, we're going to be good. Well, give Kyle Allen a chance. Remember, Kyle Allen's defense was 31st in the league. Cam never had a winning record unless he had a top 10 defense. So I think we should give the same respect, same chance maybe to Kyle Allen next year, see if the new coaches can play better defense. But like what Hunter's talking about with the pocket passer, I'm seeing, I think you're 100% right. I don't think
Kyle Allen won't get.
Here's the thing.
He's not going to get a fair shake though.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he'll get a fair shake. I don't want people to realize this.
I agree.
So the quarterback coach you're bringing in, Joe Brady, or he's now the offensive coordinator. He wasn't a quarterback's coach. He was passing coordinator at LSU. When he was with New Orleans, it was in 2017 and 2018. All right, in the 2017-2018 season. So that means it started in 2017. Is that how that works? 2017, 2018? Okay, so Cam Newton's completion percentage, even in 2017 and 2018. 2017 was 59.1. He played 16 games. 2018, throughout 4 games, he was 67. So that's his completion percentage. You're talking about a guy now that's going to come in and implement this West Coast offense that was really being run by Sean Payton and Drew Brees. In 2017, Drew Brees was 72% completion percentage, and in 2018, he was 74% complete. What was Joe Burrow this last year? I had the numbers for you. Joe Burrow, I know it was on the college level, but even still, it's against SEC-type defenses, the top defensive in the nation. They played in the national championship. He was 76.3% completion percentage. You have got to be able to throw the football, it looks like, in this man's offense. And it's one thing to say, yeah, Cam's got a big arm. But what good is it if I have a cannon, light it up, and just spin it around and let it shoot wherever it wants?
I'll tell you what. I'll go this way with it because I was looking up, the Joe Burrow stats.
Yeah.
Last year he only threw for 58%.
Right. Without his quarterback.
Right.
Or without this passing quarterback.
Right. So I wonder if they're thinking, well, maybe we bring this guy in with Cam, and maybe Cam can have a 1-year jump.
They thought they'd have the same thing with North Turner, though, and it didn't work.
I mean, it's either that or like you said.
Because they brought North Turner in to be the offensive coordinator because North Turner runs more of a traditional throwing offense and not really the gimmicky read option.
I hate having to speculate about what they're going to do instead of them just deciding.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
That's all we can do.
That puts all of us in a position to say things you might not want or feel.
We the media.
I mean, listen, right? I mean, the way the money's set up, the easiest thing for them to do is to trade him, save the cash, listen, new coach, new owner. Say, Cam, you did good for the franchise. Yeah. Thank you. It's time to move on. We're resetting. We're doing everything new for this team, and to wait. I just don't think a coach is going to put his first coaching job on the health of someone.
Just looking at all the moves that Carolina has made, it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. They're revamping everything. New head coach, new offensive coordinator. They've lost a lot of old assistants to go and join Ron up in Washington, whether it's training staff and everything. So it just looks like Tepper, whether he wanted to or not, with the whole staff, I know he did with the head coach. It looks like everything's just getting built from the ground up.
It's a new day,
now.
man.
It's a new day.
They're even going to be practicing somewhere different next year during for the training camp.
They're not. Yeah, they're not going to Elon, are they?
Nah, they're going to South Carolina, right?
They weren't at Elon. They were at Wofford.
No, I thought they were doing it at Elon for years.
I was talking. No, they were at Jerry Richardson's.
Oh, they were. That's Richardson's Wofford.
Yeah, he has a statue of himself down there too.
He has a statue of himself in front of UNC Charlotte.
He has a statue of himself.
He's got a statue of UNC.
UNC Charlotte.
Because he paid for the state. No, he stole / received $110 million from the state of North Carolina to do renovations on Panther Stadium. Okay. He sent $10 million of that. No, he didn't send that money, but a month later, he donates $10 million to UNCC to have his name put on the scoreboard and name the field after him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he didn't go to UNCC.
No.
But he took the millions and then a month later, donated 10 to UNCC's football. So that's how he got his name there.
Is his name still on that stadium?
Yes. Then he built.
Interesting.
Then they built 2 more statues. His friends paid for the statue out front of Panther Stadium that they tried to put out there that last year, 2 years. His friends paid for that and installed it overnight without him knowing. This is after we got $110 million.
Right. That when David Tepper bought the team, it's in his contract.
It's supposed to stay.
That's got to stay.
Like, what kind of narcissism? Jerry Jones doesn't even have a statue of himself. This dude's got 2.
Keyword is yet.
Yeah.
He's got 2.
Here's the thing. I think Dallas will give Jerry Jones a statue, but it won't be while Jerry Jones is alive. I think it will be after he passes.
His son's the owner.
Jerry Jones,
his son will be the owner.
Yeah,
so they'll do it.
Yeah, they'll do it then, but it won't be while Jerry Jones.
That's
is
a good
in charge.
point. He probably will die though. While he's not going to give up any power, I wouldn't think.
No.
And if he does, it'll be like an emergency end of life situation. Maybe
Right.
I probably agree with you on that. Maybe. Just I'm sitting here looking at the Hall of Fame today. Everybody's complaining about some things. People not making the Hall of Fame. Drew Pearson did not make the Hall of Fame again. There's a video of him throwing the paper up in the air and being upset about it. Pearson, of course, the best Cowboys receiver for about until Michael Irvin of all time. Yeah, he was Staubach's receiver. He had more. Look, he's got more yards and catches than Lynn Swann. Lynn Swann never had a 1,000-yard season. Neither did John Stallworth. Drew Pearson had 2. And Pearson, of course, won 2 Super Bowls as well as the number 1 receiver. Drew Pearson not being in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's anybody growing up back there. Ask any old Cowboys fan. Everybody knows who Drew Pearson was. You know, and that's a tough one for Drew. I just watching this video of him throwing up his hands in the paper. I mean, he's upset. But he don't understand. He don't get it. And I kind of agree with him. On that one. Broncos fans are arguing about a Randy Gradisher. Gradisher, I don't know if I know of him. He's one of 10 linebackers in NFL history with 7 Pro Bowls, 20 picks, and 13 forced fumbles, I think. All other 9 players are in the Hall of Fame. So that's what the Broncos fans are chiming in about that today. Cowboys about Drew Pearson. Trying to think if there's any other ones on my tweets of the day. I did have another comment on what we were just talking about. Can't remember what it was. The Joe Burrow thing. Okay, Hunter, I've seen people online mentioning this. Burrow forcing his way to Carolina.
What, go work with Joe Brady again?
Mm-hmm. Is that don't take the Bengals stink, force the trade to one of the teams behind them?
Yeah, but to me, I don't think it's the offense's fault. For the Bengals' struggles, because Andy Dalton still at one point this year was leading in yards passed.
Hey, rumor has it Belichick wants Dalton.
That is a big rumor.
That's the rumor. Belichick wants Andy Dalton to replace Tom Brady.
Andy Dalton is still young. Andy Dalton came in the same year that Cam Newton did.
He's
probably just 30. I mean, so he's got life in the tank. For God's sakes, if freaking Tom Brady wants to play till he's 45, then he's still football young, if you ask people about a 30-year-old Andy Dalton.
You don't think Belichick would take Cam and be effective with him?
No, because it's Cam, first of all, doesn't fit the New England vibe.
They brought in Antonio Brown
for a day.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about he's not their offense.
But I'm telling you, Cam Newton wouldn't, like, they just wouldn't mesh.
Yeah, their offense is three steps, 4 steps, get it out of your hand, move.
But they do a lot of throwing to the running back, a lot of check down.
Mm-hmm. That's because that's what they think only Tom Brady can do now.
Yeah.
People forget, even in that loss to the Titans, he threw for 200 yards. I mean, he can still throw the ball as long as he's not getting hit. He's fine. But going to back to the Joe Burrow thing, if I'm him and I get drafted by the Bengals, I would talk to the Bengals front office and say, look, you got a good receiver in Tyler Boyd. You got a great receiver when healthy in A.J. Green. Can Tyler Eifert stay healthy because he's like an athletic tight end like a Zach Ertz? I'm not going to compare him to Kelsey Ertz or even tight end for Kittle of San Francisco.
Yeah.
But he can be that way. Joe Mixon is not a bad running back.
No, not at all.
Giovanni Bernard can be a good third down back out of the backfield.
Oh, yeah.
So if you just maybe beef up the offensive line for him, I don't know if that was really a huge problem, and maybe make the defense better. He's playing in a division that looks like the Steelers are going to fall at some point, even if it's for a year or two, because Big Ben, there's question marks about his health and if he's going to come back, and if he does come back, for how long. How long is the Lamar Jackson Baltimore Ravens train going to ride? You know, people will eventually start to figure that out, and maybe they'll still have success, but not the 14-2 season they had this year. Is Cleveland even in the right mind? I know I like Baker, but is Baker even the guy right now? Can they ever figure out the head coaching situation?
78 yards was the quarterback for the winning. Wait a minute. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, but not everybody.
The winning quarterback in the playoffs has beaten the greatest quarterback of all time.
Okay.
And the league MVP.
Right.
With 78 and 88 yards.
Yeah, but I want to say this. Not every team's got a running back that's averaging 5.3 yards a carry.
So,
I mean, that makes a little... Yeah. He doesn't have to throw for 100 when Derrick Henry gets 190 on 30 carries.
I know, right?
But I'm just saying, like, to me, that would be an ideal situation because even in the NFC South, right now, Carolina's got a huge question mark around them. On defense, they're bad, and they just lost their quarterback of the defense in Kuechly. Yeah. They don't know if their safety net and Greg Olson's even got another year in him. It's still a long offseason. We'll see what he does.
That's another good question.
The NFC South is substantially stronger than the AFC. What are they, the North? AFC, no, that is the AFC North.
The Browns.
Yeah.
North.
The NFC South can be substantially stronger because the Tampa Bay is on the rise with Bruce Arians, if they love Jameis or not. Atlanta's offense really is a lot better than their offensive coordinator has allowed them to be, so they could catch fire at any time. And as long as Drew Brees is a Saint, even if Teddy Bridgewater takes over, the Saints are going to be good.
All right,
so do you
Saints
really
and
want to
Ravens
go
are
and
decent.
I mean,
Steelers and Falcons are comparable.
And the Browns and the
Browns and Bucks.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think they're about pretty much the same division.
Yeah, but if you ask,
the Bengals are going to be better than the Panthers next year.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I would not force my way out of.
I can see that.
Are they not going to be better than that?
I'm not saying that he has to force his way out. If you ask me, really, the team that's got the better wide receivers, if AJ Green can stay with Cincinnati, is Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Is he going to be a free agent this year?
Yeah,
he is.
I think he is.
We're going to get. We trying to go get him.
Oh, everybody's going to try and get AJ Green because if he can stay healthy and not have turf toe as bad as he has the past 2 or 3 years,
that sucks. You're at turf toe.
Like he can't get past it.
It's bad, man.
Both of my big toes went black during senior year basketball, and I got it in basketball, not football, because we had team shoes. And these team shoes has like metal rim around the edge, and my toes kept banging into them.
And here's the question, though: you said there's rumor, people are commenting. What if Joe Burrow forces his way out of Cincinnati to Carolina? Mm-hmm. Well, what if Carolina jumps ships and trades up for Joe Burrow?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm saying. If he says they're not going to trade with 7, they would have to trade up.
They would have to move up.
Yeah.
Yes. And the Chargers
are moving up.
Chargers are right.
But think about that. If you trade Cam though, you get the pieces to move up.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't really cost you anything other than getting rid of Cam for the new quarterback.
What's it going to hurt the Panthers if they make the trade with Cincinnati, trade them Cam Newton and picks for the number 1 and current picks? Like, okay, we'll give you Cam Newton. You're going to go ahead and get our 7th pick this year, and we'll give you our 2nd pick this year. If they're that committed to Joe Burrow, because other than that, unless they just see somebody they can't miss on in the second round.
And would Cincinnati even say, okay, let's do it?
I don't know.
They might just say, nah,
I don't know,
we won't Burrow.
The thing is
Burrow says, I don't want to come there, and the Panthers offer him Cam Newton,
the head coach, what's his name? His first name is Zach. And it doesn't matter. He had ties underneath Sean McVay. And so he's a West Coast offense guy too. So I don't necessarily think Cam Newton would be a fit there either.
All right, Bengals first, Redskins second, Lions third.
I like the Okudah pick.
Giants fourth. Then the Dolphins need a quarterback at 5. Chargers could need a quarterback at 6. Panthers could need a quarterback at 7.
Who they got Panthers taking right there?
The linebacker from Clemson.
He's good.
No, safety.
What?
From Clemson? It says he's a safety.
No.
I thought he was a linebacker.
He's a linebacker. If that's number 11,
They've got
for
him
Clemson,
listed as a safety.
That's a linebacker. That man is huge. Okay? All right. I got to look this up. He's not a
It
safety.
might just be listed wrong there because it says in the paragraph they need to shore up their linebackers.
Yeah, okay. Then it is.
I do like the Browns' projection to get an offensive lineman. Once you have a quarterback, and they definitely have a running back, you actually have two.
I get somebody to protect him.
I would pick, and their defense I think is decent. I think they need a different coach on defense, which they're getting. But honestly, I mean, I would almost pick 4 offensive linemen, and then everybody else sign everybody else defense to fill the holes.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Like, do they need more wide receivers? Do they need more running backs? They don't need another quarterback. They don't need another. That their tight end's okay. Defense is average to good. So why wouldn't you pick 3 linemen, at least 2 that can start, and then the rest defenders to shore up your defense? I think that's all Cleveland needs to do and get better coaching out of all that. But Cincinnati, like I said, teams that could trade up if for some reason they're not going to get Burrow and something goes wrong with that. Miami could jump up there at 5. Chargers is the one to look at because let's say Rivers leaves. Miami
I want you to think about that. Joe Burrow in the Chargers offense with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Melvin Gordon.
But
and
he's not
Austin
any
Eckler
good
out of the backfield.
without Joe Brady.
That's what everybody thinks.
Is it the quarterback or the quarterback position
Coordinator?
So
Passing coordinator.
So let's say here's the ones to
Yeah,
look out
but
for.
think about it. What was LSU's offense before they even brought in a coordinator like this? For years, they always wanted to run the ball.
That was it.
So now they're actually being able to throw the ball.
I mean,
Chargers are at 6. All right, let me finish this thought. Chargers are at 6.
Right.
If they want a quarterback, there's 2 teams ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can't get Burrow they'd have to trade Cincinnati to get Burrow at the 1 spot. If they can't do that, Hunter, then they would have to jump over Miami at either 2, 3, or 4 to get the quarterback they want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think the play I see is this. Burrow 1, you guys go 2 at Young, and then the Lions trade back at 3 to either Miami
Or the Chargers.
San Diego or
Carolina.
One of those 3 teams could possibly need a quarterback and need to move up 2 or 3 spots to that Detroit spot. They can get a cornerback 2 or 3 spots later if whoever's moving up is taking quarterback.
Right.
So Detroit and the Giants are in 4. So look for those 2 teams to maybe possibly. I don't see why y'all would get off of Young.
We have no reason to.
Unless someone offers you 5 draft picks and one of them's in the top 10. I don't see a reason not to in y'all's position. I don't think I should draft Tula over Haskins as much as I don't like Haskins.
No. I don't like Tua at all. I don't.
Did
I think he's
show
too
you
injury prone.
his picture, Jordan, why I said I wouldn't draft him?
who?
Tua.
Tagovailoa.
Did I show you that? This is why I wouldn't draft him. Let's see if I can find it. I'll find the picture. So this is it. What's that front hand doing?
I don't know.
He looks like the claw from Scary Movie. Like, what is that? Look at this. Claw. What is this? Claw. I know it has nothing to do with how he's throwing it, but that just looks really weird to me. His offhand, when he goes to throw, he claws it up like the dude from Scary Movie. Look at this.
I mean, I don't.
That drives me nuts.
I don't like his throwing motion.
Gears.
I've never liked his throwing motion at all. And it's not just because he's left-handed. If he threw it that way right-handed, I still wouldn't love it.
Chaz's got a better arm. Look at that. I don't care. I'm being so silly. But go look at a picture of Tua throwing the ball and look at his offhand. His right hand on every throw, he curls. He don't like point it or fit or there's it's just something.
Now
it's
I'm trying to remember
curled
what
up.
do I do with my hand when I throw the ball.
Well, you just kind of most people just open it up and their arms pointing, their hands pointing towards your target.
Yeah.
He's got it curled up in front of his face like he's about to get hit. Like the scary. Like if you're watching online, this is what his hand looks like when he throws. And he won't. And that's his. And he's back here. So this is. Well, he's lefty, so we got to do it the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So it's this, not here. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I could be. I could just be completely nuts on that.
To me,
that just drives me crazy.
The injuries have chased me off of Tua.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that big.
He's not. He's 6 foot. Like maybe even.
I think he's listed at
210.
210. I think he's listed at 210.
He's not big, my man. The guy's left-handed. I'm not huge on left-handed throwers, just because very rarely have they been successful in the NFL. The most successful one was
Steve Young.
Steve Young.
And Steve Young and Vic are about the only.
And Michael Vick.
Vic just didn't win.
But I want you to think about it. If you're, and this is what really chases me off Tua. Tua might be great at throwing the ball. He might be deadly accurate. That's fine. But once you're injured, you stay injured. If you're injured in college, and you're coming into the pros injured, you don't just magically never get injured again.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not going to go to the best of situations where you're not going to get hit. This is the NFL, okay? You're not outrunning kids if you've got athleticism on the college level that you used to outrun on the NFL level.
John, I'm just looking at offhands here, like Troy's. That's about the worst one, and it's still open. Like everything is. This is what I'm thinking. Everything's wide open hand. You got to clear your shoulders and then come through. Most people, you got to jerk. You're supposed to pull that elbow through, so you turn your hips through to put power in it. And that's just a weird way of looking at Tua's hand. I don't know why that bothers me. Just look at that. He ain't doing it. It's out flat, not scary movie. Claw. What's the guy's name? Chris. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? What's his name? Christopher. Scary movie hand claw. That's all I got there.
What are we looking at?
Oh, my man. Oh, yeah.
This is what I'm saying. This is what Tua's doing.
Grab this hand.
Yes. There's Tua.
This is my strong hand.
I made them by hand. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what Tua does when he passes. Is it not? Look at it.
Hand messed up, dog.
I ain't trying to be mean or wrong. I'm just saying that's what he does. So that's what's been going into my head. I just want y'all to know. Every time I see Tua, a picture of that's what I think of. Is this right?
Leave that man alone.
Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
No,
Kevin.
the best thing is I said I wouldn't draft him because of that.
It's horrible.
What if you're in a room and that's what you told the other guys that were scouting him? Have y'all seen his follow-through hand?
Man. Rude.
Oh, goodness. You just talk about Cam and Andy Dalton. Came in the same year. Andy has 2 more wins. He has 6 more losses than Cam. He's played 9 more games. He's got 1 extra tie. So Andy Dalton played 9 more games than Cam. If Cam Newton wins his next 10 starts, he'll still have 6 more losses than Tony Romo. So he can't have a better record than him unless he wins like his next 25 straight starts. Mm-hmm. Cam's got to go like 17-0 his next few starts to tie him and Romo in percentage. I got some more news and notes here, one for you before we get out of here today.
All them games Romo won, and he ain't hardly got no playoff wins.
He's got 2.
He's got 2.
Yep. It's they. I want to say Jason Garrett as many times as I can. Juwan, let's see. One of the years these Giants. What years the Giants win the Super Bowl? You know off the top of your head, Hunter?
07?
The Giants, one of their Super Bowls.
Was it 07?
Yeah, 07. They beat the great Brady Moss offensive New England in 2007.
That's the last one. It's been that long?
Yeah.
I thought that.
I don't know if that was the last one.
No, 2012. That's the one I'm thinking of. All right, Juwan, 2012, 8-8. Look at Romo's numbers on an 8-8 team. Now, that was his highest interception numbers those year. But here's the thing. There was 3 of the games that year. Me and Terry sit here every Saturday morning, keeping up with this. And I did the math on it, went back. This is how bad a coach Jason Garrett was, Juwan. They missed the playoffs by 1 game that year to the Giants. They lost the Giants, and they won the Super Bowl. 3 games, including the Giants one, they would have won the game if Dallas in the second half on every possession took 3 knees and punted. Because they got up with leads. Jason Garrett's the king of this. He gets a lead, he keeps passing. So what I'm saying is that if Dallas would have just took 3 knees and punted and wasted the clock, that's 2.5 minutes a drive. So you can wait on 4 drives. You waste a whole quarter if you got 4 possessions. So they could do that. So what I'm saying is there were 3 games that year. 3, not 1.
But who was y'all's running back that year?
I have no idea.
I think it was one of the. I think it might have been like
2012. I don't know that.
I think it was that back with Barber and.
Oh, that's way before that. That's probably because
that might have a lot to do with why he kept throwing it.
Felix Jones and DeMarco Murray.
Felix Jones and DeMarco Murray.
No,
it wasn't.
Yeah, that's who was on there.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it was Felix and DeMarco. Well, no, he kept throwing it because he's Jason Garrett and he does that. That was our point. 3 games. I mean, Juwan, think about it. All you have to do is take knees and you would win. You don't even have to run an offensive play. That's how bad of play calling it was. If you don't even have to run a play, you can you'd still win. So when you look at those at Garrett, it's so sad. Like, look, there's not a single losing season on there except the year he got hurt. It went 1-5. Every other year, winning. 500, 8-7, 500, 12. Yeah, Jason Garrett. All right, here's our picks from Monday night, Hunter.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember any of them?
Who? What do you mean?
Well, I had 2 people that picked LSU.
Yeah.
You and Tom. Tom had the blowout. You had the 3-point game. So Tom wins the college football pick'em. Terry and JP had Clemson, and I had Clemson in overtime. I went with JP on that one, since we all went 0 for the weekend before. Juwan, the weekend before we were 2-14. This past weekend, a whole lot better. Combined, we were 11-5.
Who's that including? All of our picks?
Our Saturday morning picks.
Oh, okay.
This is our Saturday morning picks.
Gotcha.
I don't think I wrote yours down from Friday.
I don't think I wrote mine down either.
Okay.
I was trying to remember.
I was looking on my notes. I don't have anything down for Juwan. This weekend,
I took Baltimore.
I didn't. I went 4-0.
You did?
I picked the Titans.
Yeah, I didn't do good.
Let me tell you why I picked the Titans. You ready for it? They took 2 weeks off. They're running offense. You have to run the ball in the postseason, but my thing with the quarterbacks and say McCaffrey catching swing passes and a quarterback running, to me, both of those things are last-ditch effort plays. See what I mean? If you drop back to pass, receiver, everybody's covered. Look at my swing pass, he ain't there. Crap, take off and run.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I understand that.
So what I'm saying by that is every time you throw a swing pass or every time your quarterback runs, that's a real play that wasn't run or called.
Okay.
Right? So every time Cam runs the ball, that's a play Jonathan Stewart doesn't run, right? Or D'Angelo doesn't.
Okay.
The people trained to do it. So to me, it would be better to have Stewart or D'Angelo run than Cam, right? Would it not be better to have a wide receiver catching the ball 10 yards down the field than throwing swing passes in hopes you see what I'm getting at?
I got where you're going with it, yeah.
So with all that said, Baltimore's offense, the Panthers' offense are kind of designed to do those things, which are usually a last-ditch effort
and they
type
do them
thing.
First.
And they do it first.
Yeah.
So once you take that away, what's their next option?
Got you.
If that's usually the 4th or 5th option per play, once that gets shut down or stopped, because in the playoff, that's what teams do. Mm-hmm. They say, I'm going to stop this, or I'm going to stop that, and they try to do that. And that was my thing with Baltimore, is that you took week 17 off, and then you had the bye, and then you played again. 20 days were between games, and it's a running offense. And Juwan is a running back, and what I was trying to explain to them is that you guys need practice, and people don't get it, like, as far as following your box, but you need practice with the quarterback getting his steps to get you the ball.
Yeah.
So before you get the ball, let's explain to Hunter. Let's say you're running a misdirection to the right. How many different steps and things do you do before you ever even get the ball and get to the line?
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Misdirection, you might want to hesitate and then take a step to the right if you're coming back to the left, and vice versa. Because on those misdirections, the worst thing you want to do is have bad timing or bumping into the quarterback.
Right. So I was concerned about their running game coming into the game. Mark Ingram had, 4 carries or something like that? He got hurt. Six
He
carries.
hadn't practiced since December.
So they were down to Lamar or nothing. So I just had a feeling that and what Tennessee did, they bend didn't break to where, you know, and because I've seen this happen to Vic over and over the years, and all the running quarterbacks, if you stop that and then force them to pass, they can win if they're making big plays, but you got to have something else from the running game or someone else, and Lamar not getting any help from behind. So no running backs were helping, and it just I just saw a weakness in that. Now, I didn't think that Tennessee was definitely going to win. I thought they had a chance to, and I went and picked them since everyone else picked against Baltimore.
Yeah.
Last week we went 0-6, 0-14, boys. Somebody better pick something different here. So I went with that. But I thought that running offense type thing was going to have trouble. I thought they would get beat by Kansas City eventually, because they can do a little bit of everything. So Kansas City and Tennessee, we're going to talk about that on Friday. If the Titans can make that upset. Hunter says no. And then we'll talk about 49ers and Packers. Can the Packers make that upset? A lot of Marcellus Wiley said yesterday, no way. Is it even going to be close? Is this going to be a blowout?
49ers way.
Yeah, they beat them 38-7.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that game.
And he said, just think, if the Packers do half as better, if they do twice as better as they did last time, they got 14.
But I don't. Yeah, in these playoffs, man, what happened in the regular season, it doesn't mean as much. I mean, it means a little bit that you got the little blueprint to go off of, but playoff football is totally different. Everybody's gonna have a little wrinkle, a little something different.
The defenses, I think when you look at these games, you have to look at everybody's secondary option on what's. So if you say Kansas City and you're going in as a defender, what do you stop if you're Tennessee?
It's a lot to stop, dog.
Well, you have to stop something. You have to be your game plan. And then what do you want to let them do? Because you end up letting something.
I guess you would want to let them run, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You don't want Mahomes slinging around?
No, but they got running backs too.
But if you let them run on you, you'll lose. Yeah. But if you stop the run, they'll just start passing.
They'll just start. It's catch-22, man. I mean, you want the red pill, you want the blue pill.
Yeah. It's just what I'm wondering. Hunter, what do you think on that?
I don't think it's going to be close.
You don't?
You got Kansas City big time?
Kansas City. I got Kansas City at least by 14.
At least by 14. Hunter. We're going to talk about that more on Friday.
Did they play this year? The Kansas City
Tennessee beat Kansas City this year.
Right.
By 30.
At the end of the game.
Yeah.
Drove down, yeah. Yep. I think Kansas City had a blocked field goal in that game. I think Tennessee blocked the field goal.
I'm not sure. I'm not.
I think if my sports memory serves me correctly.
No, it does not.
No.
Hunter's even
But see, this is an inside joke that Kevin was actually wrong on. My sports memory was actually correct.
What?
You know what it was.
Are you talking about charitable basketball?
No.
Don't maybe get Andre come here and say you're wrong on that one.
Kevin lost a tablet.
Oh.
And I told Kevin where it probably was.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You did not say kids got it.
Hunter, if I said
somebody's got it.
No, I said, didn't we let one of those crews borrow it? And come to find out, guess who it was? We let somebody borrow it. And he don't want to give me no credit for being right, but that's all good.
That was the most,
world heard it.
That's the most random wild guess.
No,
I'm pretty sure we probably gave it to somebody.
I remember you handing it to somebody. I remember the conversation of, can we use this? And you saying yeah.
I'll give you credit for warming up the bus, but I'm not going to give you credit for driving it. Driving it
That's
into
cool. I got fans out here, and they say I'm right.
I got fans.
Yeah.
I swear I thought I had another one in here for you, Hunter. Trying to find it for you. All right. While I'm thinking about that, Hunter, any news notes, anything like that for the past 2 days that we went over?
Nope.
Juwan, we did the wrestling Mount Rushmore yesterday. I don't know or Monday. I don't know if you'd want in on any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had my cousin do it. He's watched about every week of wrestling for 30 years. So
I haven't seen no recent wrestling in the last 5 to 7 years.
He's my resident wrestling expert, and he knows all the past stuff and everything. So I gave him my Mount Rushmore to see if he would agree. He actually did.
And Rushmore is 4 again, right?
4.
Okay.
And then we did Mount Past Less.
What's that?
That's the JV.
Oh, okay.
That's JV mountain. That's the second team. Get it, Rushmore, Past Less.
Okay.
So that's the second mountain. So we did 2 mountains. But the top mountain was Andre the Giant, Flair, Hogan, and Undertaker. Those were our 4.
Interchange them how you want to, yeah.
And then the next 4, we both had Rock, Stone Cold. Who was the other one?
I think it was
Sting.
interchangeable.
Rock, Stone Cold, and
Yeah.
Sting were the next 3 of the 4. Then we argued about the 4th one. I had Goldberg. He had Dusty Rhodes. From what Rhodes
Dropping bows. Like Dusty
Rhodes was the one that he was the one that kind of created all the character. He started the character stuff. So him is not just Vince with the characters. That's why he was saying Rhodes belongs on it, because not only is he was one of the best wrestlers at the start of it all, he was the ones that started getting the characters going and helping guys with characters and things like that. So that was his point. Other points were, let's see, Macho Man got a nomination.
What about? Well, one, they're probably not gonna agree. Everybody's not gonna agree with me, and it's not because it's a black guy, but I used to really like Booker T. That was my boy, and it wasn't because he was black. It's because I liked Booker T. Man,
he didn't get brought up. I liked him in the tag team.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was better as a one-on-one than I thought, but I really liked him in the tag teams. I like their tag teams.
But most people don't even remember his brother's name. I can't even think off the top of my head.
That's Tooker B.
No, it's not. It's not. It was.
Are you sure it's not Tooker B?
No, man.
It's Booker T and Tooker B.
Is it Stevie Ray?
Is that not right? That might be.
I think it's Stevie Ray.
Booker T and I should probably just put tag team. Is that what you want me to put?
Yeah.
Booker T tag team. Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray. Yeah, I still got it. Sports memory, baby.
As the Ebony Experience.
That wasn't their first name, though.
That was in the. That was
their
called,
name was Harlem Heat.
That was Gilbert World
Yeah.
Wrestling. Is where they started, was in Gilbert World Wrestling.
Yeah, okay.
The Harlem Heat.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, I like the Harlem Heat.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you my tag teams right now. Harlem Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be these guys back in the day called the Rock and Roll Express.
That's Zach's favorite.
Oh, them used to be my dudes.
You know they still
man.
wrestle?
They do. Hey, let me tell you something.
Have you ever seen
my
them?
old the guy? It's a guy I used to work for. His name is Pony.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what his last name is. He used to wrestle, and they know them.
That's them now.
Morton something. One of them's name is Morton.
Ricky Morton.
Ricky Morton. Yeah. I know people that know them personally. They still wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Zach works up there in Denver at the Harris Teeter up there. He actually gets wrestlers and NASCAR drivers that come in there. So Kyle Busch is one of his regular customers. So you need to go up there and hang out with Zach one day and get you Kyle Busch signed crab leg.
Oh, okay. Now I used to like what was the other two guys? The Steiner Brothers.
Steiner Brothers,
Big Papa Pump,
Road Warriors,
and I used to like
the Legion of Doom was my favorite.
What is it? I used to like the Four Horsemen, even though that's more than two.
Right, I didn't like any.
Yeah, I used to like what was the dude? Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
You ever seen Tosh.0?
Yeah.
Did you see him when he got Arned? So one of Tosh's running jokes was always like he would he grew up watching wrestling or whatever.
Right.
So he would always talk junk on the show to Arn Anderson. Well, finally they got Arn to he did a wrestling promo response back to him on Twitter. It was fantastic. I was just absolutely fan. For wrestling fans, you got to go watch the Arn Anderson Tosh.0 Twitter. But these are my favorite tag team. The football pads, Hawk and Animal, the Legion of Doom.
I remember those
Faces
guys.
painted, shoulder pads. It's about as tough as it gets, Hunter. Hunter, did you watch any wrestling growing
No.
up? Okay.
I watched none.
You didn't watch any?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't watch fat.
Hey, big man, what's his name? What's the big name?
Braun Strowman.
He went to Bandy's. He's from Bandy's High School. Braun
Okay.
Strowman.
Oh, really?
The new big man.
Yes, Adam
Okay.
Sure.
That was his name,
Sure.
Adam. Or Sid Vicious, the big boss man.
Sid Vicious.
And of course, Mr. Perfect. All right. We're gonna start wrapping it up here, guys. We've had a good day today. Hunter, you want to do any top tens about Rushmores or anything like that? Any true falses or
no.
fun tweets or anything today?
Whatever we got to do, we just do it Friday.
All right. I feel you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be coming back Friday, January
Boy,
17th.
this boy is skipping through
I'm all over the place.
half of the year.
January 17th,
Yeah.
Friday, we'll do NFL Pick'em.
Right.
We'll do a little bit of NBA. Didn't really get too much today. and we'll just get ready for Saturdays, and we'll have a couple of fun things to do.
Yeah.
Maybe Friday. Saturday, you got to remind me that we got to talk national championship with those boys about North Dakota State and and James Madison, so Terry and them can poo-poo them real quick.
Yeah.
All right, it seems like I had something else. We talked Luke Kuechly, did some true false, NFL playoffs. I guess I'm done, man. We'll see you guys in a couple days. Tune in live on Facebook. Watch the replays on YouTube. And you can, of course, pick us up Spotify, Apple Tunes.
Apple Podcasts.
I'll be as old as I can. Yeah. Apple Tunes.
Yeah.
And more. All right, folks, we'll see you guys next show on the Shock Jocks. I'm Kevin Hastings, along with Juan G. Wilson here, Hunter Yancey. And am I not? Is it not playing?
I got it.
Why is it not playing?
I'm hearing it.
Oh, I didn't have my cue button. Gotta put my cue button in, folks. All right, we'll see you guys Friday. Thanks for watching Shock Jocks, KTCBroadcasting.com.